Good morning. Welcome to Senate Finance. Glad to see you all here this lovely Friday morning. My name is Marilyn Dondero Loop. I will be chairing the meeting this morning, and we will start with roll call like any good teacher.
Senator Buck. Senator Cannizzaro. Senator Neal. Senator Wen. Senator Stone. Senator Taylor. Senator Titus. Chair Dondero Loop.
And I am here. Thank you very much. And please mark Senator Buck absent excused. Thank you very much. All right. With that, just a reminder to turn off your any instrument that may be in front of you so that I don't hear a dinging or ringing, whatever it may be. And the other thing that I would just like to remind everyone, as we hear bills that are referred to Senate Finance, just remember there will be lots more in days to come, but please understand that these are hearings and this resides in this committee until much later, and that due to funding constraints, the decisions made on the funding for any of these bills will be made in the future. So listening to a bill does not equal funding. Got that, everybody? Okay, perfect. All right, with that, we have many bills to hear this morning, and Senator Donate is going to be the star for several of them right away. So we'll start with Senate Bill 176, Senator, if you'd like to come forward, and you may go ahead and start when you are ready.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and good morning to the members of the Senate Committee on Finance. For the record, my name is Fabian Nanyatin. I'm proud to represent Senate District 10 in Las Vegas. Today, I'm here on the first bill to present Senate Bill 176, which is a bill that revises provisions relating to education. SB 176 creates a pilot program to pay for the cost of certified nursing assistant exams for high school students in 4 Nevada school districts who are currently enrolled in a CTA nursing program. The bill allocates $148,000 to fund exam fees during the 2026 through 2028 school year. Because students can take the credentialing exam in lieu of their traditional finals, this bill helps students finish the last step in their training with no additional burdens. The allocated amount will be given directly to school districts with the CNA program so that their students can take the certification before they exit and complete their high school education. As we know, Nevada is facing a severe nursing shortage, including for CNAs. We need more than 5,000 CNAs just to meet the national average. That shortage directly affects patient care, increasing wait times and stretching healthcare workers thin. At the same time, students' interest in health careers is growing, and CTE programs have some of the highest graduation rates in the state. And so by ensuring that students are completing their coursework to become CNAs, including taking the exam as we're mentioning, it's important that we make sure that we set them up to success, but we know that many of them never take the credentialing exam because they simply can't afford it. SB 176 supports our workforce pipeline and gives more young Nevadans a pathway to in-demand careers that they're passionate about. Just really quickly, Madam Chair, those are just my remarks on what the bill does. The first fiscal notes that you see from entry and so forth, those were for the original provisions of the bill. The bill deleted a lot of those provisions, and so there's nothing in this bill that deals with the Millennium Scholarship or anything else. The reprint allowed the Department of Education, NDE, to resubmit a fiscal note, and that has been zeroed out. And so the only cost that we're talking about today is specifically the allocation of the bill that would go directly to those school districts with a CNA CTE program. It's $148,000. That concludes my remarks.
Thank you very much. Questions, committee? I have just one, just for clarification. I didn't read all the way through the bill. It may be in here. How much is the actual exam?
Thank you so much, Chair Fabian Nanyate, for the record. So there are different components to the exam. Altogether, it also includes, so there's different certification portions that the students have to go through. There's also fingerprinting and so forth. And so in general, we budgeted around $300 per student. And if you want to see the direct math, it's in the presentation that was presented in Senate Education.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
All right. Last call for questions, seeing none. Oh, sorry, Senator Titus.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'm sorry I was late to the table here. So first, thank you for the amendment and changing this just to pay for the exams. But will it cover the cost of, say, any books they need, anything else that they might need?
Thank you so much, Senator Titus. Statement Doñate for the record. No. So the main things that we're going to cover, and excuse me, I'm pulling up exactly what that breakdown would be per student. So every CNA student has to pay $80 for fingerprinting. They have to pay the Nevada State Board of Nursing CNA certification fee, which is $50. The state competency written exam, which is another $50, and the state competency skills exam, which is another $50. So on average, each student, each pupil, right, once they graduate, they're paying around $230 to go for the certification. We budgeted $300 per student just to be on the safe side because costs may change, right, because of inflation and so forth. And so those are generally the costs that we're covering. So it's not for scrubs or books or anything.
Very good. Thank you, and thank you for bringing it forward. This is crucial for the healthcare pipeline, is starting as the nurse's aide, because I took that training as a nurse's aide, and our good senator presenting this bill did too. And so it's really the pathway for healthcare. Thank you. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you very much. All right, with that, if you want to step back, we'll go to those in support of Senate Bill 176.
Good morning, Madam Chair, members of the committee. My name is Tom Clark. I'm here on behalf of the Nevada Association of School Boards. I want to thank the sponsor, Senator Doñate, for working with us on this particular bill. The districts that have these CTE programs will appreciate giving the guidance to the students that if they take this path, it will help offset some of the ending costs so that they can get into practice. So we very much support Senate Bill 176. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Susan Kema, K-E-E-A for the record, K-E-E-M-A for the record. I am the Executive Director for the Nevada Association of School Superintendents, which includes all 17 public school districts. We are testifying in support of SB 176. Superintendents support pilots such as this that could be seeds for other CTE pilots, and as a result, support the workforce. Thank you.
Good morning, Madam Chair, members of the committee. Allison Herzik, Director of Nevada Government Relations for Dignity Health St. Rose Dominican. We are in support. Thank you.
Good morning, Patrick Kelly from the Nevada Hospital Association. We too are in support of increasing the workforce. Thank you.
Any additional support in Las Vegas? Phone, AVH, we'll go to the phone lines when you're ready.
Thank you, Chair. If you would like to testify in support of SB 176, please press star 9 to take your place in the queue.
Madam Chair, members of the committee, good morning. My name is Renee, R-E-N-E-E, last name R-U-I-Z. I'm with the National Nurses United National Nurses Organizing Committee of Nevada, and we are in support of this bill. Thank you.
Next caller, please.
If you have recently joined us and would like to testify in support of SB 176, please press star 9 or raise hand in the Zoom client to take your place in the queue. There are no other callers wishing to offer support testimony at this time.
Thank you very much. We'll go to opposition. Anyone in Carson City in opposition? Las Vegas? On the phone lines, AVH, when you're ready.
Thank you. If you would like to testify in opposition to SB 176, please press star 9 to take your place in the queue. There are no callers wishing to offer opposition testimony at this time.
Thank you very much. And we'll go to neutral here in Carson City. in Las Vegas and on the phone lines. AVH, when you're ready.
If you would like to offer initial testimony today for SB 176, please press star 9 to take your place in the queue.
I'm calling in support, if it's okay. Yeah, CYRUSHOJJATY. This is a good bill. Thank you so much. Yield.
There are no other callers wishing to offer initial testimony at this time.
Thank you very much. Any closing remarks, Senator? Okay, with that, we'll close this hearing on Senate Bill 176, and we will open the hearing on Senate Bill 193. Senator, when you're ready.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Fabian Nyata again for the record. Give me 1 second. Senate Bill 193 is a bill that establishes a pilot program to reduce interest rates on mortgage loans for certain eligible borrowers. Senate Bill 193 creates a pilot program to buy down the interest rates on 30-year fixed-rate mortgages for first-time home buyers. This bill appropriates $10 million to the Housing Division to reduce monthly mortgage payments for eligible borrowers. Essentially, individuals who would qualify for this program would be able to buy down their interest rate from their mortgage when they are in the process of purchasing their first home. By doing so, it gives first-time home buyers a fair shot by lowering their costs, reducing their month-to-month mortgage, and stretching their home buying power. Over the last several years, many of us have heard from our constituents that homeownership has become unattainable for too many Nevadans, not because they aren't ready, but because high interest rates make monthly payments unmanageable. In many cases, families are spending over 33% of their income just to keep a roof over their heads. SB 193 seeks to establish a program that is targeted at those earning up to 160% of the area median income, what we refer to as the missing middle, with some flexibility for special cases. This investment helps families stay in Nevada, build long-term financial stability, and invest in the communities that they call home. It's a strategic one-time cost with lasting benefits for housing access and economic mobility. Madam Chair, just one final comment. The bill sets forth an allocation of $10 million. So just to do a quick math, if we allocate $10,000 per family, we can expect to help around 1,000 families here in the state. The $10 million allocation is flexible. It is a variable number that we put in the bill as a placeholder, and we are open to amending that amount based on the committee's suggestions, and we're open to hearing any feedback that you may have for us. The only other comment that I have is in talking offline right before this hearing, it was noted that we could change the effective date to be sooner if that was the preference of the committee to July 1st and so forth. So that way we can provide relief to families, and I'm ready to stand for any questions that you may have.
Thank you very much. Questions, committee? Senator Taylor. One of those Taylors and Tylers.
Thank you, Madam Chair. And thank you, Senator. Good morning. Just a question. You said that it's just a one-time allocation. Is there a specific length of time you envision this program occurring, or do you envision this to be something that will need to continue to fund?
Thank you so much, Senator Fabian Nyata, for the record. So just as in terms of what's happening at the national scale, so I took this bill based on what New Jersey has been doing. They recently did a similar program to look at how do we ensure that consumers are generally prepared for the market conditions. But what we learned through this process is that many of the first-time homebuyers program is just to put down essentially, like, for example, I just bought my first house in August. It was to save up for the deposit and so forth, right? It doesn't really target to buy down the interest rate. If you have money to do so, right, you can certainly do it in that step. And so this is kind of in response to the high interest rates that we've seen that haven't really come down, and it ensures that Nevadans have a fair shot in competing for the market. And so the reason why it's a pilot program is we want to see the effectiveness of it. Obviously, the bill doesn't have a preference. Some states have put preference to first responders, teachers, and so forth. This bill doesn't do that because we want to see how constituents take forth of such provisions. And we talked with the Housing Division on trying to make this as flexible as we could. So that's why we made it as a pilot, a one-time allocation.
Thank you very much, Senator Taylor. Senator Canizaro.
Thank you, Madam Chair. And I want to thank you, Senator, for bringing this bill. I think that this policy, at least to me, seems very smart, makes sense when people are trying to figure out how they're going to afford to buy a home and how they're going to afford to continue to stay in that home. Part of what I see this bill doing is making that more affordable for folks. And I appreciate just the fact that this bill is really focused on making sure that we are helping those home buyers, right? And helping a lot of those, families, young people who are trying to buy that first home. I think that's such an important population for us to take a look at and what we hear from so many constituents. So I just want to thank you for bringing the bill. I have a question on the money amount because this is an appropriation of $10 million. Do you have any sense of what that $10 million then could result in terms of how many home buyers we would be helping, how many folks that might get to, or what that would look like for an average home buyer who's looking to utilize this program?
Sure, and thank you so much for that question. Fabian Nyante for the record. I'm going to invite the Housing Division to come up just in case if I'm not able to answer it completely. So in general, so on average, and we did this exercise in Senate Commerce. So let's use me as an example. I wanted to come use this program and to buy down my interest rate. I had saved the 3.5% that I needed to buy my house, but I didn't realize that I could also buy down my interest rate just because from the nature of what we're going through. On average, so for example, if you were to allocate $12,000 on a home that's worth $400,000, it can significantly change your mortgage payment down to. So without the buy down interest rate, your mortgage rate would be $2,600. But now with this buy down interest rate, you would be paying $2,400 for your mortgage. So it could save you by allocating around $12,000 per family. You're saving around $200 per month. And then over the lifetime of that 30-year mortgage, it equates to $70,000. So it does build up because you're reducing how much you're paying. And that's $200 that you can spend on gas, that you can spend on your children to participate in sports and so forth. And so that's why it really does go directly to the pockets of not just saving families long term, but month to month, which is what our constituents have been asking. And I don't know if there's anything else.
You nailed it.
Okay. Yep.
So to me, that makes a lot of sense. I know sometimes in this money committee, we talk about, very large sums of money. We're talking about things like education funding, Medicaid, reimbursements, and all of those sorts of things. $200 for a family in terms of whether or not they can afford that mortgage payment every month, or $200 that they could use to pay for other things. Really does make a difference. Obviously, it sounds like if it could be adjusted potentially based on the program or how the housing division would implement it. It could be more than $12,000. So maybe you're talking about a few $100s as opposed to $2. But $12,000 feels to me like you could take $10 million and make it go to quite a few folks in terms of helping them to purchase and afford homes, if I'm understanding the mechanisms of how that was explained correctly.
Madam Chair, members of the committee, good morning. Christine Hess with the Nevada Housing Division for the record. And thank you so much for your attention to housing and particularly your interest in here. We've modeled when we had initial discussions with Senator Dunyate, the program to look at maybe 10,000, 15,000, 20,000, again, focused on, of course, Nevada residents, as the Nevada programs do, the Nevada Housing Division programs do, and additionally, just also we modeled, to Senator Dunyate's point, a 30-year FHA, right? So we're talking about interest rates coming from 6.7% in our model. This was in February that we did this initial work, coming down to 6% if we provided $10,000 of an interest rate buy down. And again, to the senator's point, $200 a month can help with utilities, can help with other activities that are important for a home buyer. $15,000 would bring the interest rate down to 5.75, music to all of our ears in these times, and $20,000, our model shows 5.375%. So certainly it's possible. The opportunity to may promulgate regs, again, these are existing programs that we would flow this these funds into. And to the senator's point, most of our work is down payment assistance, but it's easy for us to align and side by side an interest rate buy down. So the opportunity to take effect immediately should the committee desire, the Housing Division would be able to do this work.
Thank you. That was very helpful, and good to know that this would be something that we could sort of deploy quickly for folks in order to help with that. And then I guess my other question is, because it sounds like you would be able to maybe make some of those adjustments depending on the applications or how you want to, put the program together. We could be talking about those differences in amounts such that we would be giving buyers a little bit more potentially. But that we could do that, and you're nodding your head yes, so I will take that as a yes. Anyway, I think that's great. It also sounds like then from a fiscal standpoint, the $10 million would certainly help a lot of folks. If it needed to be a different amount, that wouldn't impact your ability to put together this program.
Madam Chair, Majority Leader Christine Hess for the record. Not at all. We would work with whatever the committee and the legislature thought appropriate. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. That's very helpful, and like I said, I appreciate it. I appreciate the Housing Division's willingness to work on good housing policy, and certainly, Senator, your work on this piece of legislation, just because I think this is something we hear so much of from our constituents and from folks who are trying to buy that first home or trying to get into a house, and it's just very expensive, and I think this would provide some relief, and so hopefully make that a little bit more of an achievable goal for so many Nevadans. So I just want to thank you because I really do like this bill. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you very much. Additional questions from the committee? All right, seeing none, thank you very much, and step back. And those in support of Senate Bill 193, please come forward. And we'll start here in Carson City.
Good morning, Chair Don Darrell, members of the committee. For the record, my name is Nick Schneider, Director of Government Affairs for the Vegas Chamber. Wanted to thank Senator Oñate for bringing this bill forward. We're in strong support and believe this is a good allocation of funds to help make housing more attainable. Thank you.
Thank you very much, and we'll go to Las Vegas. Please go ahead when you're ready.
Chair Dunderaloop, members of the committee, and Senator Oñate, thanks for the opportunity to speak with you all today. For the record, my name is Azim Jess, and I serve as the legislative chairperson for the Nevada Realtors. A couple of things I did want to add to the senator's comments was SB 193 is, yes, really designed to help bridge that gap for the missing middle. Based on our calculations using current interest rates, this proposal could expand a buyer's purchasing power, by about $54,000. That's a meaningful and measurable difference for many Nevada families. And then according to public data available, we estimate that approximately 54% of Nevada households could qualify for this program as outlined in SB 193. So that includes casino, resort workers, teachers, first responders, retail employees, food service, et cetera, all the folks that are the backbone of our community right now. And then just the other last thing I want to touch on is that if you guys remember the Great Recession, there was an $8,000 federal tax credit that was given to homeowners to kind of spur the purchasing of those foreclosed homes. Well, what happened was those sellers essentially just added $8,000 to the list price of the home, and that was just a pass through. The way this program will be implemented is that the Housing Division will pay that buy down money directly into escrow, and that'll prevent that inflationary reaction from home sellers, and that money will be used directly to help the buyers and be a benefit to the buyers. So in closing, just want to thank you again for the opportunity to speak, and the Nevada Realtors are deeply committed to supporting solutions that make housing more attainable for Nevadans at every price point. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Any additional support in Las Vegas? I don't think I see or hear anybody. Phone lines, AVH, when you're ready.
Thank you, Chair. If you would like to testify in support of SB 193, please press star 9 to take your place in the queue. There are no callers wishing to offer support testimony at this time.
Thank you very much. And with that, we'll go to opposition. Is there anyone here in Carson City? Las Vegas? To the phone lines, AVH, when you're ready. Opposition.
Thank you. If you would like to testify in opposition to SB 193, please press star 9 to take your place in the queue. There are no callers wishing to offer opposition at this time.
Thank you very much, and we'll go to neutral here in Carson City. In Las Vegas, on the phone lines, AVH, when you're ready.
If you would like to offer neutral testimony for SB 193, please press star 9 to take your place in the queue.
Thank you, members of the committee. Thank you, members of the chair. I'm calling in support. There's a lot I like about this bill. Thank you. Cyrus Hojjati, Hojjati.
Okay, anybody else on the phone lines?
There are no other callers to offer neutral testimony at this time.
Thank you very much. Any closing comments, Senator? Okay, then we will close the hearing on Senate Bill 193, and we'll go to Senate Bill 378. And Senator, I think you're up again. Thank you very much. Please go ahead when you're ready.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Fabian Nyata for the record again. Senate Bill 378 makes provisions relating to health care. There are several provisions in this bill, but I will walk through and focus more on the ones that deal with the fiscal portion. I know there's folks that are eager to talk about the policy part, but I'm eager to talk about the finance part on this one. So Senate Bill 378 ensures that patients receive their electronic records within 7 business days at no cost. It regulates independent emergency centers to prevent surprise billing and bans non-compete clauses for clinicians whose primary duties involve patient care. It also creates new transparency, reporting, and licensing requirements for these emergency centers. The bill includes targeted investments with long-term savings. First, the bill includes a section that would allow Nevada Medicaid with the ability to prospectively investigate claims of fraud. Further, the bill also includes provisions that would ensure our state is not overbilled for non-emergency visits to independent centers for emergency care. As of today, the Division of Healthcare Financing and Policy estimates an initial investment of $2 million in fiscal year 26 to implement new oversight measures for freestanding emergency departments and Medicaid billing practices. While this includes launching a claims review unit and hiring staff to investigate potential fraud, these reforms are projected to generate substantial savings. The targeting of Medicaid fraud through claims processing and regulations on freestanding ERs work in tandem to save the state $55,000 in the 26-27 biennium and $481,000 in any future biennium. The Division of Public and Behavioral Health anticipates cost of $456,000 in FY26 and $517,000 in FY27 to implement new oversight responsibilities, including licensing of independent emergency centers, conducting inspections, collecting data, and launching a public awareness website. Together, these reforms strengthen patient protections to reduce costs and modernize the way that we deliver and regulate care. So really quickly, just to summarize what I just spoke about. So the bill has several provisions in it. Obviously, the ones that deal with the fiscal notes are 2 portions. Primarily, there's the portion of freestanding ERs, which I will go through in detail, and then there's the portion regarding Medicaid fraud. The portion that deals with Medicaid fraud, you will see that in the first reprint fiscal note provided by Nevada Medicaid, it would retain certain amount of staff and it would have infrastructural costs associated, which to be able to capture some of the Medicaid fraud that is being conducted. And I'm not talking about Medicaid fraud from constituents. I'm talking about Medicaid fraud from providers that are overbilling and charging the state and not being caught in doing so. And so there are cost savings from that portion of the bill. Additionally, now pivoting towards the freestanding ERs, which plenty of folks will have their time to talk about it, there are provisions where we are now going to license these separate entities through the license that we already have. But because we are establishing a quality program, that is why you see the DPBH fiscal note of $400,000, et cetera. I will refer you back to, of course, the fiscal note of Medicaid, which shows that the provisions of the freestanding ERs that are in this bill, there is a cost savings measure or metric that is referenced in the Nevada Medicaid fiscal note. If I remember correctly, it's around $2 million in the future biennium. So just you'll see that there's a it says freestanding ER cost savings, and so that's the line that I'm referring to. And so just as a final note, of course, we are prepared to remove the fiscal notes if necessary, but because it generates the state cost savings, I thought that it was reasonable to at least have the conversation with the committee, and then I can answer any questions specifically on what we're seeing. So thank you, Madam Chair, and I'm happy to turn it back.
Thank you very much, and thank you for your flexibility with this bill. All right, any questions on Senate Bill 378? Senator Neal.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So you have a new amendment, right?
Thank you so much. Fabian Duñate, for the record, yes. So the amendment, thank you so much for bringing that up. I forgot to leave that off by accident. So the conceptual amendment that you see, there were two technical changes. It does not change the substance of the bill. The main thing so the first thing is that we're changing the effective date of the bill when it is signed versus July 1st. And then, I believe it was January 1st in the bill. And then the second thing that we're changing is the bill mentions that for certain providers of care that are exempt from the electronic record notification system, for essentially if patients come and ask for their medical records, the bill right now states that you have to give it within a 2-day time frame. We change it to 7 days. That's the only two changes that the bill has right now in the mock amendment.
Thank you for that, Madam Chair. Follow-up. Sure. So are your personnel expenses in the both fiscal notes still the same? You have the Department of Health and Human Services and Healthcare Financing, and then the one from DPPH.
Thank you so much, Senator Fabian Duñate, for the record. That is correct. We have those remained unchanged. And so, as I mentioned in my remarks, for the ones that dealing with the fiscal notes dealing with DPBH, we are prepared to remove the fiscal note if necessary, but it was a little bit conflicting because of the cost savings that is generated in the other provisions of the bill. So that's why we were, from a policy sense, it's really dependent on what we want to move forward to.
Thank you very much, and I believe Senator Titus has a comment.
A question, actually, this time. Thank you, Madam Chair, for the question. I need some clarification, though. I appreciate the concerns about Medicaid fraud. It's something that we've talked about a lot, and we think there are money to be saved for the state regarding that. But I need some clarification on the freestanding ERs and their billing. If they're freestanding ERs, they're licensed that way. Somebody presents to the emergency room, regardless of where it's located, it's an emergency room. If they're freestanding, they won't be able to bill as an emergency? Is that what I'm hearing this bill does?
Thank you so much, Fabian Duñate, for the record. I will, of course, Senator Titus, we've discussed this at length in the Senate Committee of Health and Human Services, and so I don't want to belabor the policy portion of this bill. But having said that, so there are several provisions that deal with the billing portions, of course. What we have presented in front of the Senate Committee on Health and Human Services is that for non-emergency cases, that it should be billed separately because of the cases that we're seeing where many of these freestanding ERs are being stood up across our state. They are alluding that they are providing a certain level of care when that's not the case because they're still being transferred to other facilities. And so through the separate licensing, that's one of the provisions that we're looking forward to in terms of accomplishing for it.
All right, thank you, Madam Chair.
And thank you. And thank you, Senator. Any additional questions from the committee? Okay, seeing none, then if you would like to step back, we'll go to those in support of Senate Bill 378. Here in Carson City. Okay, Las Vegas, please go ahead when you are ready.
Good morning, Madam Chair, committee members. For the record, my name is Jason Gray from MGM Resorts International, Vice President, Government Affairs. I want to thank the sponsors of this important piece of legislation, in particular, Senator Duñate, for his really hard work. MGM Resorts supports SB 378, which aims to address the alarming proliferation of high-cost freestanding emergency rooms. These facilities, often located near existing emergency departments, charge exorbitant rates for non-life-threatening conditions that could be treated at more affordable urgent care options. This trend is driving up healthcare costs, including for our 45,000 Nevada-based team members. Despite efforts to inform consumers, confusion persists due to the striking similarities between freestanding emergency rooms and urgent care centers. SB 378 will not only address the proliferation of high-cost freestanding emergency rooms in the Las Vegas area, it will enhance healthcare options for Nevadans. By ensuring that freestanding emergency rooms can also provide urgent care when appropriate for the patient, this bill aims to promote more affordable and accessible healthcare services for the community, and we respectfully urge your support. Thank you.
Good morning, Madam Chair, Dundara Loop, and members of the Finance Committee. Carlos R. Lassane II, for the record, Vice President of Government Relations and Community Affairs for Caesars Entertainment. The number of freestanding emergency rooms is exponentially growing throughout Nevada, and it's driving up healthcare costs for our employees who are the backbone of our industry and our businesses. Insurance company plans are experiencing higher emergency room claims, often for care situations that are non-life-threatening conditions that could be treated more affordably in urgent care. SB 378 requires hospital-affiliated freestanding emergency departments to offer urgent care services, have a separate license, and be in areas without access to emergency care. At Caesars Entertainment, we abide by a code of commitment which governs the conduct of our business. It's our public pledge to our 28,000 plus team members, our communities, our guests, and our business partners, and all of those we reach, that we will honor the trust that they have placed in us. Providing our employees with good health care is paramount to the mission of the code. Caesars Entertainment believes SB 378 would help curtail the trajectory of the skyrocketing costs of visiting freestanding emergency rooms. I urge you to support this bill. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Any additional support there in Las Vegas? All right, we have a late entry here in Carson City. You only get one tardy in this place.
Sorry, Chair. Thank you for indulging. Nicholas Liatis for the record on behalf of the Nevada Resort Association. We also stand in support of this bill. Transparency, stability, predictability, consistency, all those key $12 buzzwords. They're very important to our members and to the 150 plus thousand employees that work directly in resort, hotel, casinos, and in our gaming and tourism industry. We think it's important that they have reliable healthcare costs, and we want to be here to support this bill. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much. All right, we'll go to the phone lines in support. AVH, when you're ready.
Thank you, Chair. If you would like to offer testimony in support of SB 378, please press *9 or raise hand in the Zoom app to take your place in the queue.
Good morning, everyone. Cyrus Hojjati, Hojjaty. I'm calling in support. Thank you for the sponsor. And this is a great bill, a lot of good elements to it. Healthcare costs are just out of control. And please pass this bill. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Any additional callers? AVH.
Good morning. Hi, my name is Camille Cleveland. I am General Counsel with MD Squared. We are a concierge medical company with over 35 offices around the country. We strongly support SB 378, in particular Section 30, that provides that non-compete clauses cannot comply to patient-facing providers of healthcare, including physicians. Currently, non-compete clauses restrict physicians' ability to practice medicine where they live or are most needed. And these clauses significantly restrict and undermine patients' fundamental rights to choose their physician. These non-competes can exacerbate a physician's ability to practice medicine where it is needed most, and they disrupt patient-physician relationships, or can, in some cases, create physician shortages. We strongly support Section 30, which we believe will benefit Nevada doctors, their patients, and encourage additional investment in Nevada medical care. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Any additional callers in support, AVH?
If you have recently joined us and would like to offer testimony in support of SB 378, please press star 9 or raise your hand in the Zoom app to take your place in the queue. There are no other callers wishing to offer support testimony at this time.
Thank you very much. Those in opposition here in Carson City, please come forward.
Good morning. My name is Patrick Kelly with the Nevada Hospital Association. I'm here to address the fiscal consequences of requiring freestanding emergency departments, or FSEDs, to charge urgent care prices for visits later determined non-emergency. FSEDs are subject to the same federal requirements as hospital-based EDs. They must operate 24/7, 365 days a year, maintain a high level of emergency and diagnostic equipment, employ physicians and nurses specially trained in emergency medicine, and comply with EMTALA. The cost of operating an FSED is much greater than operating an urgent care. Under EMTALA, FSEDs must fully screen and stabilize all patients, assuming an emergency until proven otherwise. What matters is the patient's perception at the time, not the final diagnosis. In Nevada, we have too many people who use EDs for primary care. Forcing these facilities to charge urgent care rates will only encourage more primary care visits to the FSEDs, not discourage it, making many FSEDs financially unstable. State and local budgets could be impacted by a shift of patients to government-funded hospitals if closures occur. Increased healthcare costs if patients forego early treatment due to a lack of access, and increased state administrative costs to resolve billing disputes over whether a visit was an emergency or non-emergency. Most importantly, closures would decrease access to emergency services in the state. The most effective solution is for bill proponents to extend their clinic hours to better serve their members and employees. Thank you.
Chair Dondero-Loop, members of the committee, Connor Kane on behalf of HCA Healthcare, which includes our state's largest safety net hospital, Sunrise Hospital and Sunrise Children's Hospital. I will focus on the fiscal notes, Madam Chair, but I would like to say that we do believe that Senate Bill 378 would severely limit access to health care in our state, and in some cases for certain Nevadans would eliminate access to health care in our state. One of the fiscal notes I'd like to address is regarding costs affiliated with increasing public awareness around freestanding emergency departments. We did work with the proponents last session of this legislation on compromise legislation that would require conspicuous notice in our freestanding emergency departments that patients are in an emergency department and will be billed as if they're in an emergency department, because these are emergency departments. According to our data, patients are appropriately accessing our facilities, and we've even pulled numbers from some of the larger payer coalitions that you've heard from today, and we found that less than 1% of all visits to our freestanding EDs for some of these payers are accessed by patients who could have otherwise been seen at an urgent care. Less than 1%. This leads me to my second point on the other fiscal note from regarding the Medicaid population, potentially accessing a lower cost alternative. And I think this is really important. There's a key phrase in the third paragraph of that fiscal note that explains the fiscal note. And the phrase says, quote, it states, if they had been readily available. And that's referring to other service providers that the Medicaid population could access if they had been readily available. They are not readily available. We in Nevada struggle with access to health care. We do not have enough health care services in our state. We respectfully urge your opposition to Senate Bill 378, as Nevada needs more access to health care, not less. Thank you.
Good morning, Madam Chair, members of the committee and staff. For the record, my name is Rick McCann, representing Healthy Nevada, the state's only certified nonprofit health information exchange. I'm here today to oppose SB 378. Senate Bill 378 proposes significant changes regarding electronic health record systems, Medicaid claims integrity, and regulation of independent centers for emergency medical care. Fiscal notes submitted to date, we believe, significantly understate the likely fiscal impact on the state if this legislation is enacted. Let's focus for a minute on our concern, which is Section 5 of the bill. If Section 5 is not removed, all state and local government agencies, including providers within the local health districts, for example, currently using the nonprofit health information exchange, as well as most providers in this state, would have to find alternative methods to comply with NRS 439.589. Currently, the only available alternatives for all of these state and local government entities are either to acquire costly EHR systems from major for-profit vendors, provided those vendors can even have suitable solutions for us, or to hire personnel and to purchase and operate hardware and software to meet Nevada's interoperability requirements independently. Respectfully, this committee cannot approve SB 378 that includes Section 5 without first receiving comprehensive financial data, which you don't have, regarding these impacts on state and local agencies that are currently using the health information exchange. Thank you for the privilege of your time.
Thank you, Madam Chair and members of the committee. Allison Herzig, Director of Nevada Government Relations for Dignity Health St. Rose Dominican. I just want to echo the comments made by Mr. Kelly for the Hospital Association. We are opposed. Thank you.
Isaac Turner with Strategy 60. The Valley Health System opposes SB 378. I think a lot of the proponents have been focusing on the difference between urgent care and emergency rooms. We believe that FSEDs are an important part of having a robust healthcare system that provides important access to emergency care 24/7, 365 days a year, unlike urgent care. For example, since 2021, our FSD visits have increased from around 35,000 to 118,000. At the same time, we have seen an increase in hours of emergency room diversion. This diversion happens an emergency room department reaches the capacity and is unable to take patients, whether they come in from ambulance or walk in. This diversion in the Valley Health System has led to a 50% reduction in internal disasters when the ED is closed. This means that those hours of diversions, because of the usage of FSEDs, have decreased by almost 50%. And so, while we hope that no Nevadan will ever need them, we are open and ready when anyone may need us. Please oppose SB 378, and we thank you for your time.
Thank you, Chair. Michael Hillerby on behalf of Renown Health. I want to echo the comments of our colleagues and again say it's our job, it's what we like to do, it's what we're obligated to do, to have our emergency rooms open, in our case, the region's only trauma center, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, funded, whether you or your loved ones come in or not. But when you and your loved ones or your constituents need us, we're there. That's our job, but it does come at a cost. We urge your opposition to the bill. Thank you.
All right, with that being said, we'll go down south in Las Vegas. Please go ahead when you're ready.
Hi, yes. Thank you, Madam Chair. My name is Michael Gagnon, for the record. I'm the Executive Director for the nonprofit Healthy Nevada Health Information Exchange. Section 5 of this bill will negatively impact patient safety in Nevada and greatly increase costs. As is the case in nearly every other state, HIE connectivity is far and away the most efficient and cost-effective way to provide interoperability of health records. Let's look at some of those costs for a second. The typical cost for an EHR for a 10-provider medical practice over 5 years is about $290,000 sent to a for-profit EHR vendor. The HIE connection option is closer to $33,000 over that same period of time. If we multiply this by the nearly 5,000 providers not yet connected and sharing records, that could amount to as much as $128 million in costs over the next 5 years for those providers. Now let's talk about hospitals for a minute. Those hospitals, according to the current bill, have to connect to one of the national networks. They're called TEFCA QINs. The cost of connectivity to the HIE is approximately the same. However, under the current law, they would also, those hospitals would also have to manage are opt-in consent laws, meaning they have to shut off access to all their patients to these national networks and not allow that to be done until they collect consent on every one of those patients. That's a significant administrative burden on their part. Even if it's only $3 per, it's going to amount to about $135,000 for those hospitals to collect that consent over a 5-year period. Here's the bottom line. The HA option is significantly more cost effective for both practices and hospitals, and no one knows the exact costs because this has not been fully studied. The Electronic Health Information Advisory Group recommended HAE connectivity for a reason, because that is by far and away the most cost-effective way to do that. Our estimate is this would cost $148 million over the next 5 years for our provider community and hospital community. We strongly urge that we change or remove Section 5. Thank you.
My name is Diego Trujillo, the founder of Vegas Healthcare, 18,000 healthcare workers represented here in Southern Nevada. I'm the CEO of Las Vegas Heals and also a board member of Healthy Nevada. My main concerns with the fiscal impacts of Section 5, after speaking with experts, my belief is it would be heading to a world of unknowns. With no replacement cost analysis, we don't know what it would cost to replace current data infrastructure, leaving providers and state agencies exposed to unknown expenses. We would risk further duplication and fragmentation. Each health system and provider would need to be contract or build their own platform. So we oppose this bill because as we prepare for looking at the current health threats, destabilizing critical infrastructure with no cost certainty will further strain our system and could be fiscally irresponsible. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Any additional in Las Vegas? Not seen any. AVH, phone lines, opposition, please.
Thank you, Chair. If you would like to opposition testimony for SB 378, please press star 9 to take your place in the queue.
Good morning, Chair and the rest of the committee. My name is Damon Schilling, Schilling. I'm the Director of Government Relations for Intermountain Health. We would just like to say ditto to those comments made by Mr. Pat Kelly from the Hospital Association, as well as our counterparts in the rest of the healthcare system. Thank you. Please vote no on 378.
Thank you very much. Next caller, please.
There are no other callers wishing to provide opposition testimony at this time.
Thank you very much. We'll go to neutral here in Carson City. Seeing none, we'll go to Las Vegas. Seeing none, we'll go to the phone lines. AVH, are there any callers in neutral?
Thank you, Chair. If you would like to testify in the neutral position for SB 378, please press star 9 or raise hand in the Zoom app to take your place in the queue. There are no callers wishing to offer neutral testimony at this time.
Thank you very much. And with that, Senator, we'll close the hearing on Senate Bill 378, and we'll open the hearing on Senate Bill 233. And please go ahead when you get ready.
Thank you, Madam Chair, Fabian Nyante for the record, and thank you again for the hearings today. I'm here to present my final bill, Senate Bill 233, an act that revises provisions relating to agriculture. As we all know, the Home Feeds Nevada Agriculture Food Purchase Program was established with the passage of Senate Bill 370 during the 81st Nevada Legislative Session to help Nevada become more food secure and create economic opportunity for Nevada agricultural producers. Through this program, the Nevada Department of Agriculture purchases nutritious foods that are grown, produced, or processed in Nevada and distribute them through designated food banks. However, earlier this year, the Trump administration eliminated federal funding for food purchasing programs, meaning that we will no longer be able to sustain this program without legislative action. SB 233 allocates $800,000 to keep the Home Feeds Nevada Agriculture Food Purchase Program running and ensuring that our farmers continue to be supported through this economic downturn. Without this funding, this program would cease to exist and was shut down entirely. cutting off a vital market that many Nevada farmers rely on to sell their fresh, locally grown food. This bill also tasks the Council on Food Security with identifying long-term funding solutions and authorizes one BDR to be brought forward in a 2027 legislative session specifically to address the long-term sustainability of this fund. Lastly, Nevada currently imports most of its food, leaving us vulnerable to price hikes and supply chain breakdowns. At the same time, local farmers have the supply, but not the stable buyers. I've seen this firsthand on my visit to Fallon late last year, where there was acres and acres of food, but no one to purchase it from. And so I think that this is an important measure that will not just help our rural community, but our farmers that keep us afloat. SB 233 bridges that gap. It keeps dollars in state. It strengthens our local agriculture and builds on a more resilient, food-secure Nevada through research and a voice in the legislature. With that, Madam Chair, I'm happy to answer any questions.
Thank you very much. Any questions from the committee? All right, seeing none, if you'll step back, we will ask those in support of Senate Bill 233 here in Carson City to come forward. Go ahead when you're ready.
Thank you, Madam Chair, members of the committee. Allison Herzig, Director of Nevada Government Relations for Dignity Health St. Rose Dominican, but here in my capacity as Chair of the Governor's Council on Food and Food Security. The Home Feeds Nevada program is now more important than ever in light of recent cuts to the local food purchasing assistance program within USDA. So the council urges your support of this bill, and we thank Senator Doñate for his work on this. Thank you.
Thank you very much. No?
Thank you, Chair and members of the committee. Austin Daly on behalf of the University of Nevada, Reno. For the record, we're in support of SB 233 as the program has a dual benefit of assisting local producers while simultaneously addressing food insecurity. The university's own Wolfpack Meats, operated by Agricultural Experiment Station, has utilized this program to provide meat protein to local food pantries throughout northern Nevada. And we want to thank Senator Doñate for bringing this bill forward, and thank you all for your time.
Thank you very much. Go ahead, please, when you're ready.
Melinda Hoskins for the record. I'm the volunteer director of a food pantry here in Carson City. In March, I was contacted by a number of the individuals who use our services, and they were very concerned because they had seen these notices that there was not going to be any more funding for produce. And it makes a big difference to be able to have produce for folks. I would say that in our pantry, which serves on average 75 to 80 people, 80 households each of the days we are open, Sunday and Wednesdays. Most of them come primarily for the produce that we are able to offer them. They come and get cans. They get, the various kinds of things. But they're looking for healthy food. And when you go to the store and you start trying to buy things and you think about somebody who is living on $400 a month, a single elderly individual, they have medications, they have other things. Some of them don't qualify for Medicaid because they're just $2 or $6 over the limit. And it's very heartbreaking to see them look at things and say, oh, I wish I could get that. And to be able to see the glow and the happiness on their face when we say, would you like a cabbage? How many potatoes would you like today? We have apples, we have carrots, we have celery. Those kind of things are very important to the nutritional value that we can offer to individuals. So I urge you to continue this program and consider adding some extra money because that $800,000 isn't going to go very far.
Thank you very much. All right, additional support here in Carson City. All right, we'll go to Las Vegas. Any support in Las Vegas? Seeing none, we'll go to the phone lines. AVH, when you're ready.
Thank you, Chair. If you would like to testify in support of SB 233, please press star 9 or raise hand in the Zoom app to take your place in the queue. Caller with the last 3 digits, 438. Please press star 6 to unmute yourself.
Thank you. I would like to take a moment to thank the committee as well as Senator Donier for presenting this bill. I'm Rodney Maring with Blue Lizard Farm for the record, I just want to stress the importance of this bill for across the state for farmers and ranchers. Thank you very much.
Next caller, please.
Caller with the last three digits, 760. Please press *6 to unmute yourself, and you may begin. Caller with the last three digits, 760. Please press *6 to unmute yourself, and you may begin.
Good morning. My name is Jordan Bruff from Bruff Ranch Beef in Clover Valley, just south of Wells, Nevada. We're a fifth-generation cattle ranch, and we started selling USDA inspected beef to the public and to consumers. And I'd just like to offer my support in this bill. It helped us provide an outlet, and we also, at the same time, we got to help those that needed a little extra food at the same time. So I'd just like to support this bill, and I thank you for your time.
Thank you very much. Are there any additional callers in support?
There are no other callers wishing to provide support testimony at this time.
Thank you very much. We'll go to opposition here in Carson City, in Las Vegas, and on the phone lines. AVH, when you're ready.
Thank you. If you would like to testify in opposition to SB 233, please press *9 to take your place in the queue. There are no callers wishing to provide opposition testimony at this time.
Thank you very much. We'll go to neutral here in Carson City. Please go ahead when you're ready.
Good morning, Chair Dondera-Loop, members of the committee. For the record, my name is Doug Ferris. I'm the Deputy Director for the Nevada Department of Agriculture. We would just like to thank the Senator Donate for his work on this bill, and if it were to proceed forward and pass, we'll assure that we'll be as diligent as possible in expending the funds where they're most needed through the food banks and our partners throughout the state. Thank you.
Thank you very much. All right, any additional neutral here in Carson City, Las Vegas, and on the phone lines, AVH, when you're ready.
Thank you. If you would like to offer neutral testimony for SB 233, please press *9 or raise hand in the Zoom app to take your place in the queue. There are no callers wishing to provide neutral testimony at this time.
Thank you very much. And with that, we'll close the hearing on Senate Bill 233, and we'll go to Senate Bill 119. Senator Neal, when you are ready.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Good morning, Committee on Senate Finance. I just want to give you guys a heads up. We're not going through a PowerPoint. The PowerPoint's just there for reference material, so no reason to get worried. So SB 119 is an extension of the Nevada Grow Program, which I started in 2015. This program has been an example of how to perform work for small businesses with a small amount of money. So in 2015, we started out with $350K, and then in 2021, we moved to $400K, And then in 2023, the legislature found it in their goodwill to give us $1.9 million over the biennium in order to support businesses. So just for point of reference, when we started in 2015, we had 12 businesses and we grew to 1,380 businesses. We have had an ROI of the 1.9 million, which in capital formation, we have managed 1.5 million roughly in capital formation, and our revenue impact has been around 7.1 million in regards to the economic gardening and Envy Grow. We've created 207 jobs. We've had client business increases up to 232%, and it's been calculated that our return on investment is 191%. I even had fiscal, not this fiscal, but tax fiscal check, and our numbers were accurate, because even when I saw it, I was just like, are we really doing that well? And they confirmed that these numbers were accurate. And so we're here again to continue our base funding, or to request our base funding for Nevada Grow, so we can continue to help the businesses. And I just wanted to mention really quick, we have managed in that increase that we have received, because we added cooperative extension last session, to actually grow from the Clark County to Nye, Lincoln, Washoe, Lyon, and Elko. And so we're like the little engine that could, except for we're Nevada Grow. And if you guys have any additional questions, I have Eric Gardner down south, who is the SBED director of the Envy Grow at the CSN campus.
Thank you very much. All right, any questions from the committee? All right. Senator Neal, before you leave, will you tell me how long we've been doing this again? I know this isn't policy, but I think that that's important to kind of put some perspective.
Senator Neal, for the record, since 2015.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. So basically 10 years.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. All right. Well, if there are no questions, if you'll step back, we will go to support for Senate Bill 119.
Good morning, Madam Chair, members of the committee. For the record, Alejandro Rodriguez, Nevada System of Higher Education. NG is in strong support of SB 119 and the vital role that it plays in our state, and we'd like to thank Senator Neal for her leadership on this. Thank you so much.
Good morning, Madam Chair, members of the committee. Nicole Rourke, representing the city of Henderson. We're here in support of SB 119. We actually contributed to the Nevada Grow program with some of our ARPA dollars, and we really saw growth in Henderson businesses and saw the value of this program. And so we really urge your support and allocation for this program to move forward. Thank you.
Good morning, Chair Don Darrell-Loop, members of the committee. For the record, my name is Nick Schneider, Director of Government Affairs for the Vegas Chamber. We're here in strong support of SB 119. Really appreciate the investment in our small businesses, and a very big thank you to Senator Neal for carrying this. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Seeing no more support here in Carson City, we'll go to Las Vegas. When you're ready, please go ahead.
Hello, my name is Mike Bindrup. I'm with University of Nevada, Reno Extension Small Business Education Program, and we are in support of SB 119. Small businesses are the backbone of our economy. Local entrepreneurs are often at a strategic disadvantage without having the resources to access the kind of business intelligence data that Envy Grow does provide. The data reports that are generated are designed to empower the kind of actionable insight that larger firms often pay thousands of dollars for. Services in Envy Grow are provided to clients free of charge and are offered in both English and Spanish, ensuring accessibility across Nevada's diverse business economy. Please continue to support SB 119 and the Nevada Grow program, as it gives small business owners the right information at the right time to help them build their businesses and become stronger and more resilient while supporting job creation statewide. Thank you.
Go ahead, please.
Good morning, Chair and members of the Senate Finance Committee. My name is Elizabeth, and I own a small business, Elizabeth LLC, based here in Las Vegas. I'm a proud client of Nevada Grow, and thank you for letting me get this opportunity to testify about the impact this vital program has had on my entrepreneurial journey. Through NVGrow, I received hands-on support from my business counselor, who worked closely with me to refine my business plan, clarify my vision, and develop a strategic path forward. With their guidance, I was able to access in-depth market research and data that helped me better understand my industry and customer base. This insight directly shaped how I position my services and approach growth. Through NVGrow, I was also introduced to key networking opportunities and industry events that allowed me to promote my services and begin the process of pursuing government contracts. To me, what sets NVGrow apart is its commitment to practical, personalized help. This program gave me structure, accountability, and most importantly, confidence. It transformed my ideas into clear, actionable steps and helped me believe in the potential of my business. For these reasons, I strongly support SB 119 and urge you to continue funding NV Grow. This program empowers small business owners like myself, and it plays a critical role in driving local economic growth across Nevada. Thank you.
Thank you, and thank you for being with us today. Go ahead, please.
Thank you. Buenos días, Madam Chair, dear committee members. My name is Carlos Gomez, G-O-N-E-Z, for the records, and I am Vice President of the Latin Chamber of Commerce. And we are here to fully support SB 119. And wow, what she testified is what you need to know. This program helps a lot of local small businesses. And that's why we're in full support. Thank you.
Thank you. Any additional support there in Las Vegas? Okay, thank you very much. We'll go to the phone lines. AVH, when you're ready.
Thank you, Chair. If you would like to testify in support of SB 119, please press star 9 to take your place in the queue.
Good morning. My name is Joe Cato, and I'm honored to appear before the committee today. Good morning, Chair, members of the Senate Finance Committee, and thank you, Senator Neal, for championing this bill since 2015. I'm Joe Cato, and I'm appearing on behalf of the African Chamber of Commerce to express our strong support for Senate Bill 119. As a statewide organization dedicated to empowering the African and minority-owned businesses, we understand the critical importance of access to capital and technical assistance and sustainable opportunities. SB 119 speaks directly to these needs, offering a framework that can transform economic trajectory and traditionally underserved communities. We are a proud partner with NV Grow, and through the last 12 months since our partnership, we have seen where the program has demonstrated measurable success in delivering technical assistance to our members and other small businesses across Nevada. Through this collaboration, we have seen business stabilize, grow, and reinvest in their local communities. SB Grow will strengthen and will continue to expand and strengthen the impact of programs in our great state. Our members are just not business owners, they're job creators, community builders, and contributors to the diverse economic fabric of our state. We are here today to strongly support SB 119, and we ask that you vote in favor of equity, sustainability, and smart economic development. We want to thank the commission, and again, we want to thank Senator Neal for championing this bill, or to continuing our partnership with NV Grow and all the small businesses here in Nevada. Thank you so much for your time and your commitment. Again, my name is Joe Cato.
Thank you very much. Any additional callers?
Thank you, Madam Chair and members of the committee. My name is Emily Osterberg, and I am here representing the Henderson Chamber of Commerce and our over 2,000 members, majority of whom are small businesses, to express our support for SB 119. NV Grow helps existing small businesses grow by providing them with access to needed services and resources. They also support local chambers like HCC with funds to be used for programs that assist small businesses, such as our Business Incubator Launchpad. We urge you to support SB 119. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Any more callers, AVH?
Good morning, Madam Chair and members of the committee. My name is Catherine Francisco for the record. I'm the president of AAPI, Asian American Pacific Islander Chamber of Commerce. I'm calling in today in strong support of Senate Bill 119. This bill represents more than an investment in economic development. It's a reaffirmation of Nevada's commitment to equitable, inclusive, and sustainable growth. The NV Grow program has been an essential resource for small business development. By enhancing its scope, structure, and funding, as SB 119 proposes, we unlock a new level of potential for underserved and historically undercapitalized communities, including many within our AA and HPI business ecosystem. Furthermore, this bill is not simply about helping small business thrive. It's about building resilient communities, creating local jobs, and honoring the entrepreneurial spirit that defines our state's diverse population. In closing, I urge you to continue to support Senate Bill 119. Let's equip our entrepreneurs with the tools and support they need to succeed and contribute meaningfully to Nevada's economy. Thank you, Senator Neal, for your leadership, and thank you, Madam Chair and members of the Finance Committee for your time.
Thank you very much. Any additional callers?
Good morning, everyone. My name is Juani Romero from Mothership Coffee, and I wanted to talk about my experience as a participant of NV Grow. I started Mothership Coffee in 2015. Initially in 2012, and in 2015, I opened my first retail location. And through the resources of our state, one of them being NV Grow, I've been able to grow ever since. And I have to say how pivotal and how important this has been to my business. First, coming from Queens, New York, I didn't know much about business. I didn't understand how to succeed. I didn't know what the next steps were. And I moved to Las Vegas with just hopefully a mission and a purpose and trying to figure stuff out. And I have to say that Nevada is one of the best states to do business in, especially as a small business owner. The amount of support, the amount of resources available, the amount of people that work in these programs that care are phenomenal. It's unbelievable, especially coming from a place in New York where no one really cares. Now we're on track. Mothership Coffee is on track to being a 8-figure business this year. And that is because I started my business in Nevada. It is because of all the different programs available that I availed myself to. It is because of all the caring folks who work in these programs, who really, truly believe in small business, who truly believe in community. And with that being said, as a small business owner, we're part of the fabric of our community. And every month, we give back thousands and thousands of dollars to local nonprofits because I do believe that where I came from, the support I've received needs to go back to the people who have supported me. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Have a great day.
Thank you very much. Any additional callers on the phone in support of SB 119?
Hi, this is Peter Guzman, president of the Latin Chamber of Commerce, echoing many of the comments by my fellow colleagues that have already testified. But I want to say this. Since the inception, the Latin Chamber has been shoulder to shoulder with Senator Neal, watching her put in a tremendous amount of work for this goal that is now called Nevada Grow, NV Grow. And today, because of Senator Neal's hard work, vision, and those of us who were there from the inception with her, we now have stories to tell, many stories to tell. And those stories include dignity of entrepreneurs being able to open their businesses, but open them right, open them with critical information that wasn't available before. So for this reason and so many more, I commend Senator Neal for her vision and hard work, and I urge you to pass this bill. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Any more callers on the line, AVH?
Thank you. If you have recently joined us and would like to offer testimony in support of SB 119, please press star 9 or raise hand in the Zoom app to take your place in the queue. There are no other callers wishing to provide support testimony at this time.
Thank you very much. And with that, we'll go to opposition. Anyone here in Carson City? In Las Vegas, anyone in opposition? Phone line, AVH, when you're ready.
Thank you. If you would like to testify in opposition to SB 119, please press star 9 to take your place in the queue. There are no callers wishing to provide opposition testimony at this time.
Thank you very much. And with that, we'll go to neutral here in Carson City. In Las Vegas, on the phone lines, AVH, when you're ready.
Thank you. If you would like to testify in the neutral position for SB 119, please press star 9 or raise hand in the Zoom app to take your place in the queue. There are no callers wishing to provide neutral testimony at this time.
Thank you very much. And with that, Senator, we'll close the hearing on Senate Bill 119. And we'll go to Senate Bill 170. And that is Senator Steinbach. Welcome to Senate Finance, Senator. Glad to have you with us today.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
We're not too scary.
No, you guys are great. I'm glad to be here, real happy. I want to thank you and members of the Finance Committee for hearing this today. I'm here to present on SB 170, and we will stay to the finance portions of it. This bill has been co-sponsored by Senator Scheibel, and I have Ryan Beeman here to my left if we have any questions that you may have. As you know, firefighting is a very dangerous profession, and firefighters are at a higher risk of many types of cancers. SB 170 improves annual physicals as already established in NRS, including cancer screenings. SB 170 originally had physical notes from the state as it covered state firefighters and to a lesser extent state law enforcement officers. Due to those physical notes and the current budget issues, an amendment was made to exclude the state public safety personnel from this bill. That exclusion has resulted in the state agencies being able to remove their physical notes. And we've worked with Wayne Thorley to ensure that we've done what's necessary to make that happen. Just briefly, firefighters are covered for cancer by workers' compensation. We believe there will be a realized financial savings with better screening and early detection and treatment. However, that is opinion and speculative. And so, Madam Chair, we stand ready for any questions you may have.
Thank you very much. And are there any questions from the committee? I think I would just ask one since I'm sorry, Senator Stone, please. I'm sorry, you weren't quick enough.
Thank you, Senator Steinbach, for your presentation. Can you just talk a little bit more about the higher propensity for cancer in firefighters and how you feel that this annual exams are going to spot those a lot faster?
Yes, sir. Madam Chair, you want me to go direct? Yes, yes, sir, Senator Stone. I can, but Ryan Beeman can do it even better. He is an expert in this area. I'm going to let him take that question.
For the record, Ryan Beeman representing the professional firefighters in Nevada. Through you, Madam Chair, to Senator Stone. Just some statistics that we had from the studies that we provided in our hearing in Commerce and Labor. Studies from the CDC and NIOSH confirm heightened cancer risks, including 46% increased risk of breast cancer for our female firefighters. We have a 30% greater risk of prostate cancer for our male firefighters. And the 5-year survival rate for lung cancer plummets from 90% at stage 1 to about 1% if it's caught at stage 4. So these numbers are just real quick with regards to cancer. And then, of course, we have cardiovascular disease for our firefighters, and that's also increased. So hopefully that helps.
All right. My question is, the first question is, you didn't mention the amendment. Does that change anything on the fiscal note in the bill?
John Steinbeck for the record. Yes, ma'am. The amendment was to remove the fiscal note. So that is the, unfortunately, we have to remove the state firefighters from this bill. We're going to come back for them later in another session. But to get the fiscal notes off, that is the reason for the amendment. And if you'd like, we can walk through the amendment.
So we're just we're removing the state firefighters NDF.
Yes, Ryan, would you like to talk about all the agencies?
For the record, again, Ryan Beeman representing the professional firefighters. Madam Chair, when we worked through the amendment, it was to remove the executive departments from the state government for law enforcement and firefighters. And then that with all the different agencies from Department of Wildlife to Department of Conservation, Department of Military, it would remove all of them from this bill.
So just to clarify, who's in this bill is local agencies?
For the record, again, Ryan Beeman representing the professional firefighters. Yes, that would be just the local government agencies.
Okay, thank you. All right. Yes, Senator Taylor. I can't keep you all straight with I
We
don't
are being
look.
confused all the time. It's kind of a
Well, you
Tyler
look
kind
so
of a
much
thing.
alike.
Yeah. Well, call us Tyler and we'll answer
Well,
the.
that's what I
yeah,
mean. That's
yeah.
what I was kind of thinking.
We're good.
Tyler
Yeah.
combined the two names.
Yeah, and we've been together throughout this session.
Taylor
on so many
Titus sounds
committees.
like a very famous law firm or something.
So,
okay, please, Senator Titus.
Thank you.
I
thank
didn't
you.
look up, and I just heard, and
she was
answered.
looking out for me. So thank you, Madam Chair, and thank you, Senator. I appreciate it. I just want to clarify because of the amendment does remove the agencies you mentioned, but they are still going to get their physicals, and there are gold standards on these exams. So I don't want in any way to leave an impression that we are excluding our own state employees from adequate and good physical exams. And because this is just a clarification that you would like to see added to the exams that are being done currently, that is new information recognized as some of these cancers now are being identified at increasing risk for you, and that our own state employees will continue to get these exams. But what we're doing here with this is just identifying some new ones, looking at local agencies to do this, and it will also, our own employees will be getting good exams. I just want to not leave this on the level that, oh no, we're just doing it for certain groups and not others.
Yes, John Steinbeck for the record. That is correct, Senator Titus. They will continue to get the exams that the NRS allowed for previously. And to our understanding, and I'll let Mr. Beeman speak to this a little bit more, to our understanding, they've worked out conditions to be able to get some of these additional ones through their own negotiations, but I'll allow Ryan to speak to that.
Ryan Beeman for the record, representing the professional firefighters, Madam Chair, to Senator Titus. Yes, they are like our state firefighters. They're in contract negotiations. They currently have a TA on some of it, and they negotiated I would say, I can't remember what the dollar figure is, to go outside of their normal physical to get additional testing, but they've done it through their collective bargaining agreement.
Right, and thank you. If I might follow up on that, Madam Chair, I wanted to make sure that there are other agencies, and that's the point I was making. They can negotiate this in their contracts, so make it available to them, correct?
That is correct.
All right, thank you.
Okay, I'm a little worried about our state folks being gone, but I understand where you're going. And with that, any additional questions? Senator Neal.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So in the actual bill, what is this cost for? Basically, it's lab tests. I guess, what was the cost that was added at having this lab test? Because these seem to be common lab tests that you would just go ask any primary physician to run on you and then go get checked. So what did that add in terms of cost to this bill?
Ryan Beeman for the record, representing the professional firefighters in Nevada, through you, Madam Chair, to Senator Neal. When we tried to work with the state on the different costs for labs to everything, there was additional costs that they said for each of the different labs. I was just trying to find it here real quick for you, but like anything from like a urinalysis increased from $5 to a hepatitis test was like $75, but that was what they put the additional cost to.
Thank you. I just think that's weird, because if you're doing any kind of cancer screening, or if it's a cardiovascular screening, it seems to be, number one, automatic and kind of just rolled into all of the additional tests, and it wouldn't be to look, especially for cancer, you're going to look at the white blood count, and then you're going to look at the platelet count. So I just don't understand like why this has to be spelled out in that way, and why there would be an additional cost when it seems like it's an automatic part of a screening.
Ryan Beeman for the record again, representing the professional firefighters, through you, Madam Chair, to Senator Neal. You're 100% right. I mean, you would think those would be already some of the labs that you'd be running, but some of the local governments are not doing those, or some of those additional tests with the blood tests that you're talking about, because some of those blood tests will end up picking up cancer, or picking up some type of issue that might be for cardiac. But I think a lot of people don't want to do those tests because they don't want to be known that that might be an issue that you can catch early. So.
Wow. Okay. Thanks.
Thank you. Mr. Beeman, remind me what groups are with your professional firefighters?
For the record, Ryan Beeman, representing the professional firefighters. We represent all local governments throughout the state, so all the departments in southern Nevada, which is your large municipalities. And then throughout the rest of the state, it's from each of the corners, from Elko to Reno to Truckee, are the large ones, and then some of the smaller ones throughout the state are Lyon County, Central Lyon County, are who we represent. So
Okay.
basically about 3,500 firefighters.
Okay, but not the Department of Wildlife or NDF?
We do not.
Okay, all right. I just couldn't remember. And I was
We
just-
sorry, when you said Department of Wildlife, we do not represent, but we do represent NDF.
Okay. All right. Senator Titus.
Just a brief follow-up, if I might. Thank you, Madam Chair. Just for clarification. So again, Pertaining to Senator Neal's questions about the spelling out of some of these tests, it's my understanding that you're having these physicals, these tests are done, but some of the specific needs are not being addressed during these physicals. And what the purpose of this was just to identify some of this new data and cancers that you're exposed to, and hopefully direct the providers that are doing these exams to focus on stuff that had been ignored in the past. Is that where we're going with this?
For the record, again, Ryan Beeman, representing the professional firefighters. So that is correct. We're just trying to make sure we can identify these these tests early. And we've had those conversations, Senator, from just a basic examination, looking at actually looking at a person and actually touching them and diagnosing them. Hey, they have a lump on their neck, and a lot of people don't realize that hey, that's could be related to thyroid cancer. Or hey, have you ever had your skin looked at in regards to skin cancer? Because firefighters are very susceptible to skin cancer. So.
Okay. Any additional questions or concerns? All right. Well, I'm just going to go on the record saying I'm very concerned that we have excluded our NDF, our Division of Forestry, because they are no more or no less acceptable to be, or accessible to be in this situation. And so, that's a concern to me with this bill, but we'll watch and see what happens. Thank you very much. Okay, if there are no more comments, if you have more, please go ahead.
John Steinbeck, for the record, just to agree with you, Madam Chair, that was upsetting for us too. It was just part of the financial issues.
Thank you very much. Senator Titus, do you have one more comment? You and I are trading the last word.
Sorry.
It's
I'm just
okay.
thinking maybe an appropriate amendment to amend them back in might be a consideration, Madam Chair.
Well, I just, it's just always weird when we start eliminating one group that does the same thing, basically. And both groups have their dangers, if you will. Being in a house has its own issues if you're fighting a fire versus being outdoors. But we'll let it go for today, and we'll see what happens. And thank you very much. Okay, if you want to step back, we'll go to those in support of Senate Bill 170 here in Carson City. Thank you.
Chair, members of the committee, Connor Kane on behalf of Comprehensive Cancer Centers. We're a community-based oncology practice and the largest provider of cancer care in the state of Nevada. Very enthusiastically in support of Senate Bill 170. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Anyone else in Carson City? Seeing none, we'll go to Las Vegas. Seeing none, we'll go to AVH. Anybody on the phone lines?
Thank you. If you would like to testify in support of SB 170, please press star 9 or raise hand in the Zoom app to take your place in the queue. There are no callers wishing to offer support testimony at this time.
Thank you very much. Those in opposition here in Carson City, in Las Vegas, and on the phone lines, AVH, when you're ready.
If you would like to provide opposition testimony for SB 170, please press star 9 to take your place in the queue. There are no callers wishing to provide neutral testimony at this time.
Thank you very much. And we'll go to neutral here in Carson City, in Las Vegas. Oh, no, I was too quick. Thank you. Come forward, please.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Eric Antel, Deputy Administrator for the Nevada Division of Forestry. Madam Chair, thank you for your comments. The agency is neutral on the bill. It's unfortunate that with the coincidence that's happening with the fiscal note, but there is, as you heard in testimony, that is correct that the Battle-Born Firefighters Association is currently in agreement to try to cover some of these cancer screenings. So, thank you.
Thank you very much, and thank you for what you do. All right, any additional neutral here in Carson City, Las Vegas, and on the phone lines? Is there anyone in neutral for Senate Bill 170?
Thank you. If you would like to testify in the neutral position for SB 170, please press star 9 or raise hand in the Zoom app to take your place in the queue. There are no callers to provide neutral testimony at this time.
Okay, thank you very much. Any closing comments, Senator? All right, with that, we will close the hearing on Senate Bill 170, and we will open the hearing on Senate Bill 309, and we'll welcome back Senator Steinbeck. Go ahead when you're ready.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you, Finance Committee. Grateful for this opportunity again. Again, for the record, my name is John Steinbeck, and I proudly represent Senate District 18. I appreciate the opportunity to present Senate Bill 309 today, which proposes various changes to the prohibition of driving under the influence of intoxicating substances. I'm joined here by John Jones from Clark County District Attorney's Office, and he's available to assist with any questions we may have. Existing Nevada law prohibits individuals from driving or operating vehicles or vessels under the influence of alcohol or specific drugs. However, with the increased prevalence of substances such as fentanyl and other narcotics, updates to these laws have become necessary. Additionally, current penalties for offenses involving alcohol and prohibited substances may not adequately deter repeat offenders or address the severity of some of the actions. Senate Bill 309 proposes to update definitions, expand some of the prohibitions, and increase some of the penalties. SB 309 was significantly amended. We worked with leadership to amend it to where it was able to go through the policy committee, and I think we were successful. Well, we obviously were successful at that goal. For the purposes of the amendment, it was limited to scope, and that was to reduce the concentration of alcohol threshold from 0.18 to 0.16, add fentanyl to the list of per se substances, increase carcination time on a second DUI from 10 days in jail. 10 days in jail to 20 days in jail, and allow for enhanced penalties when a subsequent DUI is obtained. These amendments that we made on this bill, when we turned them in, also eliminated the fiscal note that was there from the Department of Corrections. And we stand here today in front of this committee with that fiscal note having been reduced to zero.
Okay, any questions? I was just asking my FONA lawyer next to me about the alcohol threshold. I was trying to process the understanding of your assessment piece, so that's what I was trying to do there. All righty, with that, so this is, the fiscal impact is correct of $66,744 in 26, is that correct? Or have you, this been amended?
Yes, ma'am. The amendments that I mentioned, we were able to get that reduced down to zero. I believe Mr. Thorley can confirm that.
Right, thank you very much. Okay, any questions on this bill? Okay, if you don't have any more comments, we'll go to those in support of Senate Bill 309. Here, oh, sorry, Mr. Jones. Oh, okay, okay. All right.
Thank you, Chair. Dondero Loop, members of the committee. My name is John Jones here on behalf of the Nevada District Attorneys Association. I wanted to get my organization's support on the record for 309. Additionally, Sandy Heverly, SandyHeverly, the Executive Director of STOP DUI, had to leave for an appointment, but she asked that I place her support on the record as well. Thank you, Chair.
Okay, thank you very much. All right, if you'll step back, we'll have for support come forward. Go ahead, please, when you're ready.
Thank you, Chair, members of the committee. For the record, Mike Cathcart, representing the city of Henderson. Driving under the influence it's a big problem in Southern Nevada. We believe this is good public policy and urge your support. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair, members of the committee. For the record, Randy Robinson, Director of Government Affairs for the City of Las Vegas, echoes the comments of Mr. Cathcart from Henderson. It's an important bill. It's a growing issue that hopefully this can help address. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Any additional support here in Carson City? Las Vegas, seeing none, we'll go to the phone lines. AVH, when you're ready.
Thank you. If you would like to testify in support of SB 309, please press star 9 or raise hand in the Zoom app to take your place in the queue. Caller with the last 3 digits 044, please press star 6 to unmute yourself and you may begin.
Good morning, Chair Dondera Luke and members of the committee. My name is Nancy Bruni, B-R-U-N-E, and I represent Ward 6 on the Las Vegas City Council. I'm calling in to give my strong support for SB 309, and I want to thank Senator Steinbeck for his leadership on this issue. Addressing the rising number of almost epidemic proportions of DUIs in Nevada, especially Clark County, has been one of my top priorities since taking office. The annual report of the Nevada Judiciary Appendix reported more than 10,000 DUI criminal filings in 2024. DUIs continue to be a significant public safety issue. The number of alcohol-impaired driving fatalities over the period 2018 to 2022 has increased over 75%. Most recently, in the area of Las Vegas that I serve, along with Senator Steinbeck, the sponsor of this bill, we recently experienced the tragic death of Mackenzie Scott, a high school senior that was run down by a drunk driver at 11 a.m. in the morning. She was 14 days away from graduating. This one hits close to home, but there have been at least 3 or 4 other DUI-related fatalities in the last 3 weeks. As Clark County District Attorney Steve Wilson has stated several times, the possible penalty in these kinds of cases is insufficient. What we're doing thus far isn't working. We're having too many of these cases almost every single day here in Las Vegas. As many of our residents know, the status quo is not working, and we can't keep sitting by and doing nothing. That's not justice. SB 309 provides real solutions and the potential of improving public safety. I want to note that this bill is a collaboration by multiple jurisdictions to try to address the increasing public safety risk posed by those who knowingly get behind a wheel when impaired and put our community members at grave risk. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Any additional callers?
There are no further callers wishing to provide support testimony at this time.
Thank you very much. And we'll go to opposition here in Carson City, in Las Vegas, and on the phone lines. AVH, when you're ready.
Thank you. If you would like to provide testimony in opposition to SB 309, please press star 9 or raise hand in the Zoom app to take your place in the queue. There are no callers wishing to provide opposition testimony at this time.
Thank you very much. We'll go to neutral here in Carson City. Please come forward.
Good morning, Madam Chair, members of the committee. My name is Eric Estepa. I'm a captain with the Nevada Department of Public Safety, Division of Parole and Probation. I'm here to present, based on the amendments to this bill, there will be no financial impact to the division. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Any additional neutral here in Carson City? Seeing none. Las Vegas, seeing none. AVH, when you're ready on the phone lines.
Thank you. If you would like to offer neutral testimony today for SB 309, please press star 9 or raise hand in the Zoom app to take your place in the queue. There are no callers wishing to provide neutral testimony at this time.
Okay, thank you very much. Closing comments, Senator Steinbeck. Thank you very much. All right, with that, we'll close the hearing on Senate Bill 309, and we'll welcome Senator Taylor to present Senate Bill 185. And don't bring your twin sister, Senator Tyler.
Good morning, Madam Chair, and the remaining members of the, the Finance Committee.
I know, we're small but mighty. We've got people in and out doing bills, and it's like musical chairs around here.
I certainly understand. My name is Senator Angie Taylor. I proudly represent Senate District 15 here in Washoe County, and I thank you for the opportunity to present Senate Bill 185. Senate Bill 185, the bill before you today, just addresses a critical gap in the support system that's 185. In the support system for families caring for children with disabilities or chronic illnesses in Nevada. Currently, Medicaid will cover and reimburse care services that for those eligible individuals, that's care services provided by outside caregivers. But family members who provide this care for these children are not reimbursable from Medicaid. So the intention is for family caregivers to be added, to be included, meeting the same requirements as caregivers as a whole, but that they will have the opportunity for those who choose to stay home with their disabled or chronically ill children for Medicaid to reimburse them. And I will also like to point out, Madam Chair, that the fiscal note has been reduced with an amendment. There is a handout that should have been given to each of you. And the fiscal note on that, it's still a good note, but it's a lot less than it was. It's about for the biennium is 1.3 million.
Hang tight. We're just trying to process the amendment.
No, I'm hanging.
Senator Taylor, the confusion, and maybe you can clarify it, we see your amendment, but we also see an unsolicited fiscal note from Medicaid. And so we're trying to, and I don't know if anybody's here from Medicaid that can explain. And if you don't mind, maybe I could have them come forward so that we can get some clarification.
No, I appreciate that, Madam Chair.
Thank you very much. Please go ahead when you're ready.
Good morning, Madam Chair, committee members. Ann Jensen for the record. I'm agency manager at Nevada Medicaid. The unsolicited fiscal note is the division's fiscal note associated with reprint 1, so does not reflect the conceptual amendment before you today. To Senator Taylor's earlier point, that amended language would revert the fiscal note to much closer to what it was originally, because it includes that original language for eligibility and service limitations. Happy to speak to those numbers as is helpful.
Madam Chair, if I may, in sum, the original version of the bill is where the original fiscal note came from. I amended the bill, and the attempt was to amend the bill to make it very clear that family members who are caregivers have to meet the same qualifications as outside caregivers. In so doing, it unintentionally expanded those who are eligible, which is where the first reprint fiscal note came from. And in having discussions, you have the memo before you that was submitted from Administrator Weeks that adjusts that number and takes it back down to approximately 1.3 million.
Okay, now we're all on the same page. Thank you so much. All right, with that, any further comments, Senator Taylor, before I move on?
Just briefly, the onus for this bill is a constituent of mine who has a severely disabled daughter, and she quit her job to stay home with her daughter. And the sad thing about that is she cannot be paid in so doing, and it's affected so many families in our state. So I'm happy to bring this forward for them and appreciate your consideration.
Correct. Thank you. All right, any questions on this particular bill? Senate Bill 185. All right, seeing none, if you'd like to step back, we'll go to those in support of Senate Bill 185. Please come forward. Good morning, and please go ahead when you're ready.
Thank you so much, Chair Dondera Loop. My name is Catherine Nielsen, that's spelled Nielsen, Executive Director of the Nevada Governor's Council on Developmental Disabilities. I'll make my comments really brief. We get calls all the time from parents wondering how they can stay home and support their children when there's not enough providers in the community, and this, we feel, is a measure that would work well for that. So thank you so much for your time.
Good morning, Chair Dondera Loop and members of the committee. My name is Caleb DeKay. I'm here today on behalf of Special Olympics Nevada. We are in strong support of SB 185, which allows parents to be reimbursed as caregivers for their disabled children, as this removes an unnecessary barrier and supports families. Thank you to Senator Taylor for bringing this bill forward, and we urge the committee's support on this measure.
Thank you very much. All right, any additional support here in Carson City? Seeing none, we'll go to Las Vegas. Seeing none, we'll go to the phone lines. Support for support AVH when you're ready.
Thank you, Chair. If you would like to testify in support of SB 185, please press star 9 or raise hand in the Zoom app to take your place in the queue. Mel D, you are unmuted and may begin.
Hello. First of all, I would like to say thank you to Senator Taylor for bringing this to everybody's attention. This is such a drastic and important situation. I myself have had the unfortunate situation of needing to care for friends and help family members that are affected by this situation. I am actually directly reaching out for a personal friend of mine who is directly suffering from this situation and could beneficial or financially be benefited and provide a better life for her entire family if this bill were to go through. I am not the smartest person. I don't have all the technical fancy lingo that I can put out there that everybody else does. But I do want to say that it seems out of sitting on this meeting today, supporting this bill would also alleviate other medical costs that have been brought up, our needs for care workers in like the nursing community and everything else that was mentioned before this. I know over the last few years, autism itself has increased in numbers. At one point, it was 1 in every 88 males, and now it's 1 in every 44 males. This is a very incredibly important thing, and I am about to end my spot here, but one last thing I would like to say is there's a lot of parents that are not able to have this conversation and speak up today. I have been on this since the beginning at like 7 a.m. or whenever for hours waiting to be able to speak here. Many parents don't have that option, both for working and the community that we're talking about are autistic children. Having them sit in a professional atmosphere for hours on hours with no understanding of when that time would be completed, that is devastating to families, and many people cannot do that. So I would like that to possibly even be considered at the lack of voices that are being heard today in support of this.
Thank
So
you
one
very
last time,
much.
thank
And
you to everybody who supported this.
and thank you very much. Would you please state your name for the record?
Yes, my name is Melvin Dunworth, Melvin, last name Dunworth, Dunworth. I'm a born and raised citizen of Las Vegas.
Thank you very much. And
A
thank
true
you for
born and raised local.
I am too, sir. And by the way, thank you for your comments. We are well aware that these meetings go on and that we have many people that cannot join. So thank you for being their voice today.
For the first time that I've been involved, I have to say you organize this very well. I've noticed that you thank firefighters and stuff. So I'm going to stop talking, but thank you guys all. You guys have a great day.
Thank you very much. Come back any old time. All right. With that, we will go to opposition here in Carson City, opposition in Las Vegas, and opposition on the phone lines. AVH, when you're ready.
Okay. If you would like to testify in opposition to SB 185, please press star 9 or raise hand in the Zoom app to take your place in the queue. Janelle Leva, you are unmuted and may begin.
Okay, I'm not sure what's actually going on because I was supposed to be for supporting the bill.
Please go
I
ahead.
had my hand,
Please go ahead if
so
you're in
I
support.
apologize for that. Thank you. So good morning, members of the HSS community. Thank you so much to Senator Taylor for bringing this bill. I thank you for me and families like myself. Again, my name is Janelle Leva, JeanelleLeiva, and I'm here to speak on supporting SB 185 on behalf of all the emotionally, mentally, and exhausted parents, caregivers, and families of those who have children who have physical or intellectual disabilities and the need of the support of this bill. I myself am a single widowed mother of 4 children with a son who is level 3 autistic, nonverbal, and level 3 ADHD. My son's diagnosis come with many challenges, not just for him, but for his siblings, myself, his mother, caregiver, and voice. For years, myself and many other parents with children with disabilities struggle with the means to provide for our children financially due to the loss of wages, having to stay home from work to care for the child due to their disabilities, or having to leave employment completely to care for their child's needs. This not only causes employers to be biased on hiring someone with a child with disabilities, but limits availability for scheduling, causing added stress, anxiety, and pressure for the parent or caregiver to maintain employment at all. No employer wants to hire someone who consistently has to leave work due to the care for their child, disabled, chronic illness, or not. If this bill is passed, I feel will help allow us as parents to relieve and remedy, to be able to care for our children without the worry of financial burdens. It will relieve potential issues with future employers and provide the extra income needed to ensure they receive the best care of all from someone who knows, loves, and cares for them the best, their parents. I feel this will also allow parents and caregivers the opportunity to continue to educate ourselves on how to provide that best care for our children. I myself am a certified medical assistant, and I'm currently taking courses on becoming a registered behavioral technician to further my education for myself to be the best that I can for my son and understanding his diagnosis. I feel if given the opportunity, all parents would utilize this bill in becoming a more focused and better parent and caregiver for their child with disabilities. Thank you for this time and listening to why I and many families with Nevada's disabled youth are in support of SB 185.
Thank you very much. All right. Is there anyone else in opposition now on the phone lines, AVH?
Yes, Chair, one moment.
Hello, can everybody hear me?
We can.
Okay, great. Hi, I am also in support of this bill. I'm not sure what happened, though. Is that okay if I speak now?
Please go ahead.
Okay. Well, first of all, thank you very much, Madam Chair and committee, for all of your time. It's clear that this is an extremely time-consuming process and a lot of information to try to keep in all your brains. So we really appreciate that. And thank you, Senator Taylor, as well, for bringing this bill to light. My name is Jasmine Taylor, JasminTaylor, and I am the mom of a 2.5, soon-to-be 3-year-old daughter named Hannah, who lives with cerebral palsy caused by a brain injury that she experienced at birth. And shortly after she was born, she spent about 6 weeks in the renowned NICU here in Reno. And when we left the NICU, we were told the best thing we can do for her is therapy. Get her in as much therapy as quickly as possible. And that was the medical advice that we were given upon leaving the NICU. And shortly after we left the NICU, it was made clear that I was not going to be able to go back to work with her care needs. She's 100% physically dependent on us. And so I now stay home with her. And in any given week, we have at least 5 hours, 5 different sessions of therapy for her. Fortunately, some of those are through early intervention. But unfortunately, there are so few providers available and in the early intervention program that we're part of that we don't receive all of our therapy needs through early intervention. So on any given week, we're spending over $500 per week on therapy that we're not able to get through the state. And then, as you know, she'll be 3 here soon. And so we're aging out of early intervention, which means that we're going to have to find more providers privately to be able to support the needs that she has. And so it's just debilitating to us financially. It has obviously made us make very difficult decisions, which we would make any day for her. We put her needs first always, but it's very hard. So this bill, being able to be paid as her caregiver, would change our lives. It would change her life, and is just something that would have such an impact not only on our family, but on community members that we know and love, and families that could really use this support. So again, just thank you so much for your consideration, and we really hope that this one passes. Thanks.
Thank you very much. Any additional callers in any category? We'll just open it up to potluck here.
Oh, good morning. Right. Good morning, Madam Chair. This is Anna Binder. I don't know what happened there, but I think a lot of us were on cue for support. And I know you guys want to move on, so I'll keep this as brief as possible. Obviously calling in support of this, and want to thank Ms. Taylor for bringing this forward. 7 years ago, we had to make that same determination. So we went from a 2-income household with 6 children down to 1, and my husband's a state employee, and we had to make it work because my children needed more. And I went through more jobs in the last 2 years trying to keep it together than I did in my entire career, because employers are not friendly when you have a child that has needs. So I just want to echo that. And then I just want to let you guys know, myself and some other community members held a forum at Nevada Partners just a couple weeks ago, and we met several families in the Black and African American community that are literally living in their cars and on the streets because they cannot work and take care of their medically fragile children. So I implored them to write in on the back end of this to get their voices out and heard. But there is such a huge need for the passage of this bill to help families like ours and others out there. And it is just heartbreaking to see these families living in such poverty, just trying to make sure their children are cared for. So
we appreciate the support on this. Thank you.
Thank you very much. AVH, any additional callers?
Good morning, Madam Chair and members of the committee. My name is Jessica Tallman. I live in Spanish Springs, and I'm a direct constituent of Assemblywoman Dickman. I am calling also in support of SB 185 because it's crucial for families with medically fragile children like my own. I want to share a little bit about me. I'm a nurse practitioner. I'm also a mom and a nurse to a beautiful and very medically complex little girl. A couple years ago, our state had a policy that would not allow a legally responsible individual to be reimbursed for any services for a minor. And I came down to the legislature and talked to a handful of y'all and was able to get partnered with some very instrumental people who made it possible so that I could be employed through a private duty nursing agency because my daughter qualifies for nursing hours and be her nurse at home. And I just want to share how instrumental that has been for her and for our family, and why this, if this could be something that would be available to other families, would be so important. Before I was able to stay home with my daughter and be paid for that, she was hospitalized 3 to 4 times a year. I had people caring for her who were 20-year-olds that couldn't handle her tube feedings, couldn't handle major seizures, and it put her life at risk. Since I have been home with her, we have had no hospitalizations. And when I was kind of researching what it looks like to be able to stay home and financially how that would impact the state, because many other states do follow some sort of infrastructure that will allow a parent to be home and be paid that. While it does cost money up front, there can be a cost saving afforded with this, where the state is paying for less hospital visits. These kids are less likely to be institutionalized. Over the long run, some states had seen a cost analysis that showed they were saving money by allowing qualified caregivers, and who's more qualified than the parent to be the one that was staying home. These families would also likely require less support from other state resources if they were able to be paid to stay home. And overall, I really believe it's the right thing to do. I don't advocate that, all parents be paid, but those that cannot work because their kids' demands are so high, and the heartbreak that comes with making those difficult decisions. I thank you for your time and consideration of your decisions concerning this program as the session continues. And please let me know if you have any questions. I will also submit a letter to offer my support and experience as well.
Thank you very much. Any other callers on the phone line in our sort of potluck category?
Yes, Chair. One moment.
Hello. Hi, can you guys hear me? Hi, can you guys hear me?
We can.
Sorry about that. I didn't know if anybody was there. Good afternoon, Chair and members of the committee. My name is Gabriella Foliani Bertolino, Gabriella Foliani Bertolino. Sorry about that. I live in West Reno, and I'm a constituent of Senator Taylor's. I am that constituent she was speaking of earlier. First, I would like to say thank you to her for this bill. I have an amazing, I have an amazing now 16-year-old daughter who was born with complex healthcare needs, and I had to quit working to care for her. This bill will help families like mine who need the income but have no choice but to stay home and care for their children. I am in support, obviously, of Senate Bill 185. And lastly, I would like to thank you guys for your time.
Good afternoon, Madam Chair and the committee members. My name is Michelle Roman, and it's Roman, and I am in support of SB 185. I've personally seen my sister struggle taking care of my level 3 autistic and level 3 ADHD nephew. I have seen her personally strive and persevere in places trying to attempt to make me ends meet as a widowed mother. She has spent 2.5 hours a day driving 70 miles for for a 3-hour part-time job just to make ends meet. Her job doesn't even pay for her gas. And I'm in support of this bill, and I thank Senator Taylor for coming out with this bill and this information because there are so many family members affected by the lack of financial support made available to younger children. My nephew didn't get to choose this life, and we love him the way he is, but we can't support him the way that we know he deserves to be supported without help. And so I give my support for SB 185 in support of my nephew for the quality of life that he deserves and that he should be entitled to just like everyone else. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And ABH, if we could just pause for 1 minute, we have somebody live here in Carson City. So if we could pause and we will let you go ahead and speak, and then we'll go back to the phone line.
Thank you very much. Sorry we're running in late. Good afternoon, Chair and members of the committee. My name is Pam Barrick, and I live in South Reno. I'm the proud mother of Carson Barrick, a handsome young 23-year-old man. Carson was born with cerebral palsy, drug-resistant epilepsy, autism, and other lifelong disabilities. Carson is now over the age of 18, and I'm currently being reimbursed through Medicaid for providing full-time care he requires at home. The support has made it possible for us to avoid institutionalizing our son. The stability and safety and love he needs, he gets from home. And that is the only place he would get that. This option is only available to families like mine because our children are over 18. Senate Bill 185 would finally open the same opportunities to families of children under 18. I can only imagine how that would have helped us. That means more families, especially those with younger children and with complex needs, could be reimbursed for the incentive caregiving they're already providing, often without pay and at great personal cost. These parents are already doing the work. This bill would ensure that they finally are recognized and supported for the work they are doing. I'm also very concerned about the proposed change to require requalification every 6 months. My son is the way he is and will always remain the way he is. He's not going to change in 6 months. So to have to go through the recertification is just not only a waste of time, it's a waste of money, and it's emotional to have to drag through all of that again and again and say, well, there's no change. This is where we're going to be. The burden will be even greater for single parents raising medically and cognitively fragile children alone. Many of them can't hold traditional employment because their needs are around-the-clock care. Reimbursement is a lifeline, not a luxury in any manner. And layering on more red tape could cause families to fall through the cracks. I urge you to support SB 185 by expanding reimbursements to families of children under 18 and by protecting the stability of existing supports. This bill helps ensure that Nevada's most vulnerable children and adults with complex needs can live safely at home with the people who love and know them best. May I just add in there, one of the people that you just spoke to that was getting emotional at the end is one of my best friends. Her daughter's in surgery right now at UCSF, so that is why she cannot be here in person. I hope it's okay that I share that information, but I know, I saw her say I couldn't do it anymore. So that's how important this bill is for families like ours. It's not that I don't want to work outside the house. I would love to work outside the house. Nobody's going to hire me when I say, well, I got to go to UCSF for a week for testing for this, or he'd had a seizure this morning. I can't be at work, and it definitely takes a toll. But we're trying to support our community in other ways, being proactive and coming to committee meetings like this, and also calling in as much as possible. So I just urge you to take that into consideration. Thank you for your time and your service on this matter. Thank you very much.
Thank you for being here, and thank Carson for being here. When he came in and smiled at you, I could see that glow in his eye. So thank you very much for being here, and thank you for your words. you so much. Thank you for helping.
Appreciate it. First time being here in this environment. Very eager to be here with you guys, and I'd like to start by thanking you guys for what you guys do and the honorable intentions that you have for the community at large. My name is Maria Lopez, and I am the founder and director of Special Needs Community of Northern Nevada. And we are the largest nonprofit supporter of families within Northern Nevada that have all sorts of challenges, whether it be your medically fragile children and individuals, or neurodivergent and other cognitive challenges, or our physically disabled individuals. We service all of these people here. We have approximately 2,000 families, primarily from the Reno and Sparks, Carson City area, but we are rural. We do reach the rural communities as much as we can. I'll start honestly by telling you, my nonprofit is the non-nonprofit. I take a human approach to supporting these families because I myself am one of these families. I have 2 children on the autism spectrum, one of which is in the category of profound autism, which is the highest severity of autism that needs the highest support to basically survive. My child is approaching 12 years old. He's nonverbal, limited communication needs. He is what is called a person or an individual that elopes. So at any given time, he can be triggered into his fight, flight, or freeze sequence. And a lot of people in daycare facilities, schools, and other places can't handle the type of behaviors that he has. So the different centers and behavioral things are available, but they're within limited hours. Therefore, I need to be available to pick up my son and be there. Therefore, the challenge with employment is so hard right now, and I am employed. I work for Washoe County School District in the nutrition department that employs me for 3 hours and 45 minutes a day. And that's what I do, and that's how we survive, with that and added resources like Medicaid. And so I'm just here to give my personal testimony and try to help paint this picture of actual and factuality that this demographic has to face on a daily basis. At any time, I would say 80% of the people I serve in my demographic are one financial challenge away from being on the streets. Now, there is a difference between a family with a loved one with complex needs being on the streets and a family without. A significant difference that you guys can imagine. So I'm just here to advocate for those families and just to give my testimony that if I am in support of SB 185, and that if we can make this something and bring it to Nevada, it will be an uplifting experience for this whole demographic. This is a very tight-knit community. As my friend Pam has said, we know many of the callers that you guys have had. I know the community by face. I know their children. I know their treats and everything, and they confide in me with their tales of life and misery and the challenges that they have to overcome daily. And you guys have the power to change that. And I implore you to just try to, the best you can, to bring this to Nevada, because it'll avoid so many children and loved ones from going into institutions. It will take strains off of our therapy services that we already have in place. This will eventually save our state tons of money in the long term. You will keep families together. You will help the mental health challenges that this demographic has, and so much more. It's all linked in, you guys. Everybody knows somebody or has a loved one or family that has somebody in these circumstances. So I just honestly, I implore you on behalf of myself, my family, and the 2,000 families that I serve and are in regular contact with, please, please do all you can to bring SB 185 to Nevada.
Thank you so much, and thank you for your stories. I'm glad that you all have each other. So thank you very much, and thank you for being here today.
Thank you.
All right, AVH, we'll go back to the phone lines. Are there any additional callers waiting? I've kind of lost track where we are. I don't think we've done neutral, but is there anybody on the phone lines, AVH?
Yes, Chair, one moment.
Good morning. Can you hear me?
We
Am I
can.
on? Thank you. Good morning. My name is Arlene Hernandez, ARLEENHERNANDEZ. And I just want to say thank you for allowing us to speak on behalf of our family member. I'm in support of Bill S-185. I feel that my daughter taking care of my grandson, I rather see her focusing more on my grandson than worrying about how she's going to pay her rent, how she's going to support, 4 children, and how she's going to put food on their table. My grandson is my life. He's special, very special. He doesn't have a voice, but we are here, has his family, and we are his voice. And I believe that if this bill is passed, my daughter will feel more at ease that she's at home taking care of her son than worrying about how she's going to pay her rent, pay her bills, and making sure that she's the one that's going to be taking care of her son. I know there's many parents out there, many parents, and I thank you for the support of Senator Angela Taylor for presenting this bill. And I hope and pray that this bill passes because there's many families who suffer. And it's not easy seeing my daughter taking care of her son day after day, calling me and asking, Mom, I need help. I need help. And I pray that you guys will definitely please pass this bill to help my daughter and my grandson. This impacts many families. And as a grandmother, I speak out for my family, for my daughter, for my grandson, that you pass this bill so she can take care of my grandson and stop worrying how she's going to meet her needs at home. And I thank you for this opportunity to be able to support this SB 185 for my daughter and my grandson. Thank you for this time.
Thank you very much. Next caller, please.
Good morning. Can you hear me?
We can.
Hi, good morning. For the record, my name is Letty Garcia. That's Letty. While I'm a state of Nevada employee, I'm not here representing my agency or my department. I'm speaking on my own time as a Nevadan and as a special needs mom of an 8.5-year-old child. My son does not know how to use eating utensils. He still uses a sippy cup, is unable to dress himself, wears diapers, and will most likely never be able to toilet independently. He has no concept of danger and is at high risk for elopement. He requires constant supervision and care. He is nonverbal, has profound intellectual delays, profound autism, ADHD, history of seizures, and severe aggressive episodes where he can easily overpower me, a grown adult. My son spent over 2 months at the end of last year at the local children's hospital, having been recently diagnosed with type 1 diabetes. He could no longer attend his ABA therapy in clinic as they were not able to administer insulin, and we had already experienced the inability of the local school district to meet his needs. At the time of his diagnosis, it required multiple people, upwards of 8 grown adults, to administer insulin and provide finger pokes for my son. We had no choice but to seek a facility that could meet his medical needs. Several staff members at the hospital were afraid of my son, which is a testament of how hard it can be to take care of him. The complex case management team
at the local hospital was unable to find placement for him in or out of state. Facilities were deeming my son too behavioral, not meeting the minimum IQ requirements, and my son requiring constant supervision 24/7 and at times 2-on-1 support. My husband was forced to leave his job as he ran out of FMLA and is now a stay-at-home parent for his son. Every day I see my husband experience the most stress I've seen him in the 15 years we have been together. I have never seen my husband, a grown man, cry so much at how stressed he is taking care of our child. My husband is unable to financially contribute due to the high needs of our family. Being a caregiver can take such a toll on a person. We are down to just one income as a family of 5, and given today's economy and extra costs associated with not just having diabetes, but being a special needs child and all extra diapers, fixing and patching holes on walls, I urge you to please support Senate Bill 185. Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much. Next caller, please.
Madam Chair and members of the hardworking committee, thank you for allowing me to be falling into the whatever category, and I am calling in support. This is Dora Martinez. This is an important bill regarding people with disability. I agree with the previous callers, and also want to include that some folks, some family members speak different languages that other facilities cannot offer, Tagalog, Japanese, and many other Mandarin languages. And so I believe that this would fill in that gap. And we thank all of you for patiently receiving the stories and our call. Thank you, Madam Chair, and happy Friday to everyone. Take care.
Thank you very much. Any additional callers? AVH.
If you have recently joined us and would like to testify in support or opposition to SB 185, please press star 9 to take your place in the queue.
Hi, committee members and Madam Chairman. This is Connie McMullen, and I'm representing the Personal Care Association of Nevada, and we support SB 185. We commend Senator Taylor for bringing this bill forward. This is a gap in care and the cost of unpaid care for families. It's very high in Nevada, in the thousands, and it, as you have heard, prevents people from staying afloat to keep the job and to make a decent living. And that's why we support this, and we will look forward to working on it with Senator Taylor. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Next caller, please.
Good morning. My name is Alexis Kita, and I can only reiterate what I've already heard. I want to thank everyone for allowing us to be here today where we can speak on SB 185. I am in support. I also believe, in conjunction with what everyone has already said, but I'd like to add that it would also cut down on child abuse and suicide. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Next caller, please.
There are no more callers wishing to offer support or opposition testimony at this time.
Thank you very much. And with that, we'll go to neutral here in Carson City, in Las Vegas, and on the phone lines. Neutral, please.
Thank you, Chair. If you would like to offer neutral testimony for SB 185, please press star 9 or raise hand in the Zoom app to take your place in the queue. There are no callers wishing to offer neutral testimony at this time.
Thank you very much. Any closing comments, Senator Taylor? Okay. With that, we'll close the hearing on Senate Bill 185, and we'll go to Senate Bill 374 and welcome Senator Taylor back to the table. Please go ahead when you're ready.
Thank you so much, Madam Chair and members of the committee. I'm Angie Taylor, and I proudly represent Senate District 15 in Washoe County, and I am grateful for the opportunity to present Senate Bill 374 to the Senate Committee on Finance. Last session, the legislature took meaningful action to address student behavior and safety in our schools, student supports that are necessary by passing Assembly Bills 285 and 330, and Assembly Bill 330. Those bills aim to improve the processes and promote a safer school environment. But there's still some missing pieces. And speaking with educators across our state, the missing piece is doing some things to help positively impact student behavior and making sure that our educators are prepared with the necessary skills and knowledge. In the end, I know we've been here a while. I don't need to take you through the bill. You have it. What this bill will allow is NDE to really expand a program that they piloted with the University of Nevada, Reno, really emphasizing the multi-tier system of support, MTSS. It was piloted. It was highly successful, increased attendance, reduced disciplinary issues, and improved academic results. And I'm happy to say that the fiscal note has been removed. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you very much. All right, with that, any questions on this particular bill? Seeing none, we will ask you to step back, and we'll go to those in support of Senate Bill 374. Please come forward. Go ahead when you're ready.
Good morning, Madam Chair and Committee. My name is Nicole Flangas, Flangas, here on behalf of Tom Clark Solutions and the Nevada Association of School Boards, all of our trustees across the state. I'm working on school safety in conjunction with positive disciplinary action and general behavior positions that would help students get into a better position in the future is one of our policy priorities. We really appreciate the pilot program success, and we look forward to it expanding across the state.
Madam Chair, members of the committee, Susan Kima, representing the Nevada Association of School Superintendents, including all 17 public school districts. We are in support of SB 374. We appreciate the sponsors' work on the bill and echo NASB's comments. Thank you.
Thank you very much. All right. Seeing no more support here in Carson City, Las Vegas, none. We'll go to the phone lines, AVH, when you're ready.
Thank you. If you would like to testify in support of SB 374, please press star 9 or raise hand in the Zoom app to take your place in the queue.
Good morning. Alexander Marks of the Nevada State Education Association. We are in support of Senate Bill 374 to provide educators with professional development on the discipline and behavior of pupils. We have a long history of engagement on this issue of educator safety and student disciplinary practice, and one of the constraints to several iterations of student discipline systems has been the lack of resources. That's especially related to the proper training and professional development, and this was painfully clear during Nevada's failed experiment with the move to restorative justice. We believe this bill is an important step towards addressing that shortcoming, and we would ask for your support. Thanks.
Thank you very much. Next caller.
There are no more callers to offer support testimony at this time.
Thank you very much. We'll go to opposition. Anyone here in Carson City in opposition? Las Vegas, to the phone lines, AVH, when you're ready. Opposition.
Thank you. To provide testimony in opposition to SB 374, please press star 9 or raise hand in the Zoom app to take your place in the queue. There are no callers wishing to provide opposition testimony at this time.
Thank you very much. And we'll go to neutral here in Carson City, in Las Vegas, and on the phone lines, AVH, when you're ready.
To provide neutral testimony for SB 374, please press star 9 to take your place in the queue. There are no callers wishing to provide neutral testimony at this time.
Thank you very much. And with that, no closing comments. Thank you very much, Senator Taylor. We'll close the hearing on Senate Bill 374, and we'll open the hearing on Senate Bill 269, and we will welcome Senator Titus to the table. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Madam Chair and committee members. I am Senator Robin Titus, representing District 17, and I won't list all my counties for the interest of time. I appreciate the opportunity to present Senate Bill 269, which aims to support graduate medical education throughout Nevada. We have heard many testimonies, many different bills on the importance and need for improving access and having GME, graduate medical education, in this state. Just yesterday, we heard Senate Bill 262, and a lot of folks came and testified and gave you the numbers on the importance. I am not going to belabor the policy in this bill and what GME means, as you have all are educated, I think, on the process. What I am going to talk about is what the bill does, and it's a unique way to fund graduate medical education. There was an amendment that was presented to you, and my apologies, it just got there as this meeting started. And what that amendment does is, from the Department of Taxation, recommended that we implement this starting July 1st of 2026, so that their fiscal note of $36,000 or $38,000 to initiate the program through their computer system would be eliminated if we delay it until they have their new computer program up. The other fiscal note is the obvious one, which what this program does is put $4 million through modified tax credits into a program to then be funding GME. And it's a start, especially the start of graduate medical education. To that end, the bill also states that the money rolls over in every new tax year, and $4 more thousand, so it would be $4 million. So the next tax then would then have $8 million total, like 4 per year. Again, the amendment doesn't start this until 2026. The other thing that is a key to this bill that needs to be clear, there's also about 3 bills that move the GME program out of OSID right now. And so the caveat would be that, and an amendment would have to be, and I spoke with fiscal about this, the caveat would be that there needs to be some enabling language that would allow this to be moved. However, at the end of the session, wherever the GME program ends up, it's not going to stay in OSID, but we're not sure. I would assume that would stay under the health authority. That would probably be where all these GME programs would be. But when we print up the change in date, we would print up also the enabling language that would allow these GME programs to be moved along with wherever GME is moved. And with that, I'm happy to take any questions.
Okay, thank you very much. Questions from the committee? So the amendment, just to clarify, the amendment we got moves the effective date from July 1st, 2025 to July 1st, 2026.
Correct. And that was at the request of the Department of Taxation because of their computer programming.
Okay. All right. All right. With that, we will ask you to step back, and we will go to those in support of SB 269.
Good afternoon, Chair, members of the committee. For the record, Alejandro Rodriguez, Nevada System of Higher Education, and she's in support of this bill, and we urge your support. Thank you.
Austin Daly on behalf of the University of Nevada, Reno, for the record, also in support of SB 269, just help to expand programs across Nevada, strengthen the healthcare workforce pipeline, and expand access throughout our state. I want to thank Senator Titus. Thank you.
Good morning, chairs and members of the committee. My name is Jeffrey Roulard, for the record, and I am here on behalf of UNLV. I'm a legislative intern with Row Law Group. Sorry, I forgot to mention that. And we are in support of this bill and would like to thank the senator for her leadership. Thank you.
Good morning, Chair Dondera Loop and members of the committee. Areli Alarcon, spelled Areli Alarcon, on behalf of Touro University, Nevada, the largest medical school in the state, here in support of SB 269. We would like to thank Senator Titus for her hard work on this bill and for her efforts to expand GME in Nevada. Thank you.
Good morning, Chair Dondero Loop, members of the committee, Connor Kane on behalf of HCA Healthcare, which includes Sunrise Hospital, Sunrise Children's Hospital, Mountain View Hospital, and Southern Hills Hospital. We're in full support of Senate Bill 269. I think particularly given our state's current budget situation, innovative approaches like this to fund critical needs like graduate medical education are really great solutions. So we encourage your support. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Any additional support in the room in Carson City? I don't think I see any down in Las Vegas. And so we'll go to the phone lines. Please, AVH, when you're ready.
Thank you, Chair. If you would like to testify in support of SB 269, please press star 9 to take your place in the queue.
Good morning, Chair Dondera Loop and members of the committee. My name is Jacqueline Nguyen, Nguyen, and I represent the Nevada State Medical Association, the oldest and largest organization representing physicians in our state. For over a decade, NSMA has prioritized the expansion of GME as a critical strategy to address our physician workforce shortages. We strongly believe that growing these programs across all fields is essential to improving access to high-quality care for all Nevadans. We fully support this bill and thank the Senator for her leadership and creativity with this solution. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Next caller, please.
Good morning, Chair, members of the committee, Samantha Barnes, Barnes, calling it on behalf of Roseman University of Health Sciences. We'd like to thank Senator Titus for bringing this important piece of legislation forward and here in full support of SB 269. Thank you.
Thank you. Next
There
caller.
are no, excuse me. There are no other callers wishing to provide support testimony at this time.
Thank you very much. And we'll go to opposition here in Carson City, in Las Vegas, and on the phone lines, AVH, when you're ready.
If you would like to provide testimony in opposition to SB 269, please press star 9 to take your place in the queue.
Good morning. Alex Marks with the Nevada State Education Association speaking in opposition. While there's definitely a need for a medical residency program in Nevada, the use of the tax credit model to fund the development or expansion of these programs only serves as an end run around the regular budget process. In the previous hearing on this bill, it was stated that it was modeled after the Opportunity Scholarship Voucher Program, which is alarming in its own, given the issues we've seen with that program. So Nevada certainly doesn't need to replicate our private school voucher tax credit program in the medical field. Instead of this bill, we would just encourage the committee to consider a budget appropriation for the grant program so that possible expenditure can be compared against other state needs and budget limitations. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Any additional opposition on the phone lines, please, AVH.
There are no other callers wishing to provide opposition testimony at this time.
Thank you very much. And we'll go to neutral here in Carson City, Las Vegas, and on the phone lines, please, AVH, when you're ready.
Thank you. If you would like to provide neutral testimony for SB 269, please press star 9 to take your place in the queue. There are no callers wishing to provide neutral testimony at this time.
Thank you very much. And with that, Senator Titus, closing comments? All right. Thank you very much, Senator Titus. And we'll close the hearing on Senate Bill 269. All right, that concludes our bills today. So now we are going to go to a quick work session on Assembly Bill 355, and I'll let Mr. Thorley go ahead.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Wayne Thorley for the record, LCB Fiscal Analysis Division. Assembly Bill 355 was heard in this committee 2 days ago on May 14th. It revises provisions relating to education. The bill was amended out of the Policy Committee. So the bill as amended provides that any money remaining in the fund to assist school districts in financing capital improvements and the fund to assist rural school districts in financing capital improvements does not, at the end of the year, does not revert and must be carried forward to the next fiscal year. Additionally, the bill allows school districts and counties with populations under 100,000 to apply for a grant from the fund for capital projects on qualified tribal land if they receive a gift, grant, donation, or interest income for such a project. There was no fiscal impact identified. The bill was presented by Assemblymember Monroe Moreno. Testimony support from the Duck Valley Shoshone-Paiute Tribe, the Nevada Association of School Boards, the NSEA, and the Nevada Association of School Superintendents. There was no testimony in opposition or neutral. There were no amendments presented when the bill was heard. Since the bill was amended in the Policy Committee, if the Senate Finance Committee wishes to make a motion to move this bill, the appropriate motion would be do pass as amended.
Okay, thank you very much. Any questions on the bill? All right, I'll accept a motion.
Let's so move to do pass as amended.
Okay.
See, you just said it.
Assembly Member Senator Wynn and Senator Titus, thank you very much. And with that, if there is not any discussion, all those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed say nay. Motion carries. Thank you very much. And we will now, floor statement. I'll go ahead and take that floor statement. With that, now we will have a BDR to introduce, so I'll let Mr. Thorley take that again.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Wayne Thorley again for the record, LCB Fiscal Analysis Division. There is one committee BDR that requires introduction. This is BDR 38-1238. Eliminates a requirement concerning rates of reimbursement under Medicaid for applied behavioral analysis services. This BDR was requested by the money committees when the Medicaid budgets were closed. Happy to answer any questions.
Thank you very much.
So move to introduce.
Okay. We have a move to introduce. Second from Senator Titus. Any questions? All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed say nay. Motion carries. Thank you very much, Mr. Thorley. All right, our last item on the agenda for the day is public comment. Is there anyone here in in Carson City who would like to make public comment? With anybody in Las Vegas? And we'll go to the phone lines, AVH. When you are ready, public comment.
Thank you. If you would like to provide public comment today, please press star 9 to take your place in the queue. There are no callers wishing to provide public comment at this time.
Thank you very much. And with that, we will pause just for a moment. Okay, we need to jump back to Assembly Bill 355 and pass that with a little bit different language. So we will let Mr. Thorley clarify, and then we'll do that process.
Thank you, Madam Chair. This was my mistake. The The bill is amended in the Assembly side, so the correct motion would be just to do pass. There was no amendment on the Senate side. So so if the committee would like to reconsider, it's a motion to reconsider while we're still in, and then a motion to do pass.
Thank you. And Senator Wynn.
I would move to reconsider the motion to do pass as amended that was previously made.
Second by Senator Titus. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion carries. Senator Wynn.
I would motion to do pass Assembly Bill 355.
Thank you, Senator Wynn. Senator Titus, second. Any discussion on that motion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed say nay. Motion carries. And now Assembly Bill 355 can move on its way. Thank you very much. All right, I think we have completed everything in our committee today. Thank you, committee members. I know this has been a long morning. We'll have more and we will see you at 8 a.m. on Monday morning. Thank you very much. This meeting is adjourned.